and welcome to Flory Models Q&A Tuesday. Here we are on the 18th of October 2016 with Steve with me. Can you check the sound, Steve, just as we do this?
Yeah, of course I can. Yeah.
Make sure we're all okay. That's it, we're playing down there. Hold on, it's now coming up. So I had it there as well as a backup. Right, let me get rid of that one and we're all good to go. See, if we had a sound engineer, we wouldn't have this trouble. There we go. Anyway, busy week this week. As I say, I'm all over the place, so excuse me for obviously the mess and junk everything else is around here. But as I say, tomorrow it's the big day for Sid. Well, no, it's Thursday's the big day for Sid, but tomorrow a lot of running around and we're going down there in various bits and pieces. I've got to get a haircut, I've got to go to the dentist, that'll be fun. And then got to get down there as well as everything else. Apologies to some of you, I'll just say it now. We had a technical hitch with the order system on some of the emails weren't being sent to us to say that you'd ordered. And it was only at the end of business that the guys went through from the sales lot, obviously the orders, and they found they were still there because the email notification wasn't sent, so they didn't know about it and everything else. It has been rectified this morning, but some of your orders that you placed any time after 2 o'clock, any time after 2 in the morning on Monday morning, didn't get processed, but they have all been processed now and they will all go out today and be totally caught back up. But unfortunately no orders went out yesterday that were ordered yesterday. All the ones from the weekend and everything went out, but for some reason Monday's ones didn't go. But they are all winging their way to you as we speak, so that's that sorted. From me, as you can see, we're in Gundam world, so I've been pushing on quite nicely. I haven't got much to show for it considering there's quite a bit of work here, but as you can see down on here we have this little guy. We've done here. Can you see where he is? He's a bit like yours, Steve. He's got a little window in here, which I can't put fat fingers in, but he's in there. But also this lifts up, and he's in there. But he's in a pod that's inside a pod that's like in an armoured shell, and everything else like that. So it's all a little bit weird. But again, no glue, no fillers, no nothing down in here whatsoever. And that is literally just his chest. So that's his chest area. Obviously we've got the old head to go on the top and then his body, lower torso, everything else. But so far, again, beautiful. I haven't used anything apart from a knife. We've used a pair of my little snips. And that is it so far. And as I say, it's about 2 hours fiddling around putting this guy in. Instructions were a little bit of a handful, getting them all right and all good. But you know, you soon get the hang of it and moving on. And the great thing is, obviously, I'll be able to unclip a lot of this for painting it up because I'm going to be doing this one in a certain fashion, as you'll hear all about when you start watching this one on Monday. So yeah, that's literally where I've been getting on to. Steve, what have you been up to?
Well, I've eventually finished the dolphin, so I'll get some pictures taken of that.
I'll put you on full screen for that. Where are we? Looking very nice. Yeah.
Fingerprints on it, but yeah. So eventually did it. I managed to correct. Remember, I had that awful problem with the windscreen.
Yeah.
Where when I unmasked it, I missed painting something, so I put a little kind of seal on there. I don't know if it's hardly noticeable.
No, you can't see it at all now. No, it's
so
all on there.
Green turned out well. So yeah, it's turned out really nice.
Very nice indeed.
So I finished that, and then I'm also carrying on. I've left it over here. Still working on the old Husky, but as you can see, the front of it's quite complicated. Though, yeah, it's all the resin and photo etch making for the additional mine detector. So that's been quite tricky to do.
Definitely.
It's just really time consuming, lining things up and cutting things, and then obviously we're using a lot of super glue. You have to clean parts up, and then now and again some will come loose, and about all sorts of troubles. But yeah, it's getting there.
No, but the thing is, it is a very fiddly looking thing, isn't it? There's a lot of bits going on there, so yeah, but it'll look fantastic once it's all done.
But you can see this vinyl is absolutely. I wish I'd never used it because it's just breaking.
Oh right.
Everywhere you look, it's breaking. So there's bits under here I've just noticed now. So what I'm going to have to do is, some places I can get away with it, others I'm just got to put some lead wire, replace bits of it.
Yeah.
I've already had to do that in places, but it's just the shit. Like, I don't know why you can see that right at the very back. You see all that
the hosing all coming out. Yeah.
Turn it that way slightly. It's just holding it.
Yeah, it's even getting hold of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's showing up. Put me
Yeah, I've
under
got you.
that.
Yeah, you can see the
Some
bend
of
of the
it's
pipes.
snapping.
It's snapped. Yeah, you can see it kinked. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just terrible. It's just so brittle, and so that will be quite straightforward to replace because it's only a little section from there to there. So I think in the long run it's got to be worth it.
Yeah.
If they did that, you can see all on. Do it that way. You can see there's already loads of wire.
Yeah, no, it's it. It's loads of plumbing around there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it adds to it. You see, that's the thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So
you need it really to liven it all up and give it detail, depth.
Yeah, so hopefully it should be in paint at end of week, and I am intended to try and record some of it of our paint it and weather it up.
Cool. Look forward to that.
Yeah, and talking of which, I've got to thank, to get his name correct, John Bennett has sent me a 1 to 48th Cromwell.
Oh right, yeah.
Do you remember we were talking about him on the live show?
Yeah.
We'd never seen one or built one. So
No.
he sent me that, and as soon as he sent it me, I did say I'd do a video build on it. So I'll have a go at that.
Is that one of those motorised ones? The old
No,
Tammy ones? Where it's not, because some of them used to have the motor inside as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those, the 1 to 48th ones, and it comes with, if I can get it out. Oh, it's stuck in there, but it's got a die cast lower hull.
Oh right, crikey, never knew that.
Yeah. And they've already obviously painted it with something, primed it. But yeah, and you get screws obviously to screw top on. You know, there's not a lot to the kit, but
no, that's it. But I never knew they came with solid metal hulls. I must admit, that's new to me.
Yeah, Tamiya ones do. I don't think the other companies do.
No, never seen that before.
I'm just trying to think why.
Well, I have no idea, to be honest. Arse. No idea whatsoever. Yeah.
No, I don't.
So, anyway, if anyone does know, post up, let us know. We'd love to know this. So I must admit, yeah, cracking on with this. It's nice to be back in Bandai world. I can't wait. This would be good doing this and Boba Fett at the same time. It's lovely. You know, no glue, you know, no filler, no problems, easy fit. And I have to say, if I wasn't repainting this, looking at it, the colours off of this are absolutely spot on as well. It looks pretty much, I thought when it's on the sprue it looks a bit garish, but actually now it's all together with the off-white they do, that sort of Floquil white. It really is very, very nice, but just the way this stuff goes together, you just give it a nudge, isn't it? And it just disappears, the seam lines. Very, very clever how it's all done. And I'm really looking forward to getting on with that one, getting him done, and then I've got to disassemble him and to paint him into sort of sub-assemblies. But it'll all be good, it'll be worth it in the end. Be a nice mixture of weathers on that and things to go through it. Anyway, obviously today is Tuesday, so we have some questions. Okay, Mel obviously doesn't realise that I'm filming today. I'll just message her. Okay. Live now. Right, okay, so we're going to do your questions and your various bits. Where are we? See, I'm getting it all up to date. Right, okay, so obviously you guys have been asking out your questions like good ones for the last couple of days. Okay, so to start off with, Gary says, hi Phil and Steve, I'm just wondering if you guys are going to do a review in the future of the new Takom King Tiger tank. Planning on getting a couple and was wondering if you about your thoughts about them. Thanks guys, keep up the great work. Yes, to be honest, that's my fault. I missed it when it got released. Normally when things get released, I get a little note that says we've got them here from the sales team and things like that, and then I say, oh, send us one down then, and I missed the memo on that one. So as soon as the next load come in, I will grab one. But they do look nice, don't they, Steve? Yeah,
they do. I'm going to say it could be worth. I can send you down, or if you wait till after Telford, my Ryefield model Tiger tank as well with the full interior, just to do a comparison side by side.
Yeah, no,
Manga bringing one out as well, aren't they? So that I know you mentioned that you'd like to do side by side reviews and comparisons, so that'd be a good idea. That.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm planning on doing now, guys. If you haven't noticed, if it's possible, the reviews will be a side by side. So we've got coming up shortly. We've got the MiG-31 with the AMK, sort of a versus thing, because obviously the Hobby Boss MiG-31 is 20 quid more expensive than the AMK one. So I haven't looked inside there yet. But all those kits you saw the other day. So yeah, definitely we do things like that. We do things like the Tomcat, obviously armor kits, stuff like that, and to have a look to see if it's worth it. So yes, we will be definitely doing that. Okay, sorry, I've moved through already. So we'll get that one sorted and we'll get it reviewed. Adam says, hi Fun and Steve, just a quick question regarding the new clear. I've just got in my bottle and dipped my lightning canopy. Looks so clear, would you consider using it to gloss coat for a car? As it's best to stick to the nipper, or was it Napier? Nipper? 2-pack stuff. To be honest, I used it on my Dolphin it's over there now, it's hiding. But it was absolutely fantastic on that. It worked a treat, it went down. The difference being is it's not going to give you that sort of heavy luster, that thick gloss look that you'll get with 2-pack. 2-pack has this unique ability of filling every single seam line, crack, rivet detail, the lot, and giving you a stunning finish. I don't think it works very well on certain scenarios, i.e. if you were doing anything else apart from a gloss finish, total high gloss finish, but if you're doing it for just sort of, you know, general painting, stuff like that, then yes, you could use the new type of clear. But the thing is I like about the 2-pack one is it gives a hard as nails finish. So if you're doing it like Steve's done his and with mine and things like that, if you want to go for a sort of mirror finish onto it, then the 2-pack stuff will enable you to be able to put down a thick, heavy coat that will seal everything, self-level, look like glass. And then Steve does, he polishes his as well, so he'll completely polish it with automotive type products. And what grit do you use on yours? Your micro mesh?
Yeah, I use a 6000 and then I go up to a 12,000 as a final polish. I also use a bit of Tamiya.
Yeah.
But it would work better on cars. The problem with the Dolphin is because I'd had all the little lumps and bumps on, you can get in there to give it a really nice. So there is little areas that's not perfect, but
yeah. From my point of view, I think I'm going to be sticking. Yeah, I've obviously got both, so I'm probably going to be using the clear, the new stuff. I don't think we can even call it clear anymore because it's floor care. That's an easy way of doing it. So use floor care for dipping because I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful stuff for that, and for a quick gloss coat. So if you wanted to quickly gloss something like for deckling, stuff like that, then yes, you could use that one. If you want to go for something like you're doing cars, bikes, high gloss finish to a mirror, then you really want to go down the 2-pack route because that gives you that ability, it's like Steve, to polish as well. So if you do get any little blemishes, hairs in it, various things, bugs, you can polish them out, where obviously with normal sort of, you know, floor care, you can't do that because it's too thin and you'll just go straight through it in seconds and you'll be in a bit of trouble there. So yeah, definitely. They both have their place in the hobby for certain.
And also I think if you're doing cars, especially, for example, a rally car, race cars, with all the advertising on, if you put 2-pack over the top, it'll give you that level finish all over, so the advertising sinks into it.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's a good reason to use it.
I must admit, when I did the Ducati, obviously the first time I did it, one of the nice things about it, being Tamiya, the decals are quite thick. They always tend to be a bit lower that way inclined. Coat of this, it's gone. You can't see carrier film, you can't see anything at all. It just looks like it's part of the paint job because it's buried it in there. Yet if you used to be using thinner products, i.e. your normal sort of stuff, clears and floor care, then you're not going to do that because it's just going to step up. You're going to have to put down a lot of thick heavy coats to get it, and then you're going to run the risk of runs and all the rest of it. The only thing you might notice when you're doing it, don't worry if it goes white. Yeah, I panic a lot because it did it. When I overcoated mine, you get big white areas in trenches and against angles and you think, what's that? It's gone milky. Just leave it and then you come back the next day and it's like glass. But obviously I think it's just where it's soft and obviously is that where it's drying it goes like a milky colour. And the usual thing, being an acrylic as it is, if you get it wet, it will go white again. Okay, so it's not as hard wearing again as something like a 2-pack. So, you know, it is that thing. Everything has its place. Definitely the 2-pack stuff for any type of high quality gloss, vehicles, you know, anything like that. Absolutely. If you're doing more aircraft and stuff, you need to get in finite details, and obviously for a scale effect, perhaps you don't want to go that way as much, okay, unless you're doing showbirds and stuff like that. Okay, Walter says, hi Phil and Steve, first off, absolutely love your site. You've helped me take my modelling to a whole new level. Being inspired by your aftermarket detailing of the FW190, I went out and got the goodies for that. So I got the goodies, for a 1/48 scale Academy Phantom you'd built in flight. True. My question is, how do you add photo etch to the canopy? Do you paint them up and attach them, or mask everything up and paint them? Right, okay, so I'm not too sure about the photo etch set for it. I'm taking it's probably the framework that runs on the outside for the latches and that off the canopy as it comes down. What I tend to do is paint it as a separate, and then I will then PVA glue it into place. So you can actually put in the PVA glue, a little bit along there, it sits on there, it'll dry, it goes hard, and you're good to go just like that. But don't go really near it with super glues, because the trouble is if you do need to reposition it, it will bend, and you've got the risk of fogging and all those different things going on there. But I tend to, those bits, I do them on cocktail sticks, little bit of tack on there, paint them on in situ, and then take them off and put them onto the actual canopy and all the rest of it. I'm not sure about that one, if it's got the hoop one that goes around the front. Some areas you could get away if you've got a steady hand to do them. It's just that sometimes they have little bits that stick up, and obviously if it's brassy coloured on the inside and you can't get to it, then it's a bit of a problem. So that's why I tend to put them all on, paint them up and put them on as an afterthought. Steve, how do you do yours?
Yeah, do mine similar, but what I like to do is, after I've painted the parts first, I always like to give them a brush on some clear or any other varnish. And that way, when you're gluing them on with PVA glue, if you see you got the PVA glue over onto the clear area of the canopy, you can get in there then with a paintbrush, cotton bud, and rub it off. And then if you accidentally touch the paintwork, you're not going to take that off as well. So it just gives it, use a bit of clear, just protects your parts, and then really scrub the excess glue off.
Yeah, definitely. You tend to find you get the ones on the canopies where it's like the end one, sometimes they do it where it's got a couple of handles, or like the mirrors are in place. With those, the trouble is then you're trying to get a brush up in there to paint it afterwards, to do the inside of it. It's easier just to paint it and then put it on and everything else. And then what you can do once it's in, perhaps you've got a little bit of shininess from the PVA glue and that as it runs around the sort of the crack of it, if it's not in there, you just pop along there with a little bit of black and just touch in any details you might need, just like that. So definitely different ways of doing it. Okay, so Malcolm says, hi Phil and Steve, Phil, regards to your Badger stirrer, stirrer. God, I can't read today. You must have a dodgy switch. Sorry, the stirrer. No, I've got you. You have a dodgy switch to the side to make it work. Keep up the good work. Mine though, I can't imagine how it'd be any different, because all it is like the metal pushes down, completes the circuit. So literally you just have it. Sorry, I've got all sprues in front of me. Sensor. There we go. Let's try that today. There we go. It's better. So mine, literally, it is. Obviously, it has a spring in here. You can feel it. So I can lock it and it stays. But if I just touch it, and that is the thing, you sort of touch it and it goes. So yeah, you just have to be a little bit careful as you're manoeuvring it around, otherwise it tends to go for it. But I don't know if anyone else is like it. I just assume it's just a, like a copper plate on a pressure, so as you push it, it pushes it down and against it. I can't imagine it's any more high tech than that. But yeah, maybe. But anyway, it works really well. Very, very happy with it. Do you have a stirrer, Steve?
Yeah, brush.
You just go with the brush.
Yeah, no, I am thinking I quite like that one that Hans uses.
Look, the shaker.
Yeah, I know it's a big investment, 'cause it's quite expensive, but I think in the long run it could be worth it.
Yeah, I must admit I am a little bit of a convert, and until last week I would have turned around and said you didn't need one because you could use a brush and it's a waste of money. But the difference being is I did no different to my paint on that F1 that I was working on than I would do at any other model, and it just seemed to come out a lot better. I had better consistency, I had better flow, I had no spitting, stopping, starting, any problems whatsoever. It just seemed to work really, really well, start to finish. And the only thing I can put it down to is the paint. And that wasn't new paint by a million miles. That was really old, horrible stuff, but it did have a good old whiz with this. And I'm just wondering if it is a better consistency and a better mix by using one of these. I don't know, but whatever it is, it works. And it is that thing, they say, if it works for you, do it. And so I must admit, I'm quite a convert now. And also the nice thing is, with the things like the MRPs, this fits and it goes straight down in there. You can give it a proper whiz around, good old mix, take it out, no problem at all. And you don't really get much left over. It's not like you're losing tons of it on the end of this, because you just give it a whiz in there and it flicks it all off, and just give it a quick rinse out and you're good to go with it. But I must admit, quite a convert on that one. Okay, so that was Malcolm. So Neil says, hi Phil and Steve, really like the idea of the head-to-head reviews. So apart from the AMK versus Tomcats, do you have any plans to do any more? E.g. Hobby Boss versus Chickenhawk SU34. Perhaps the idea could be expanded to the Saturday morning live show, where one of your one of you builds, say, the AMK Tomcat and the other does the Tamiya, sort of a test build off. I think it would be great to see a couple of these kits of the moment in a head-to-head to see what they're actually worth the money. Talking of the SU34 and the AMK Tomcat, in other places, much has been made of the nose gate, the intake gate, where you mind does the wrong shape matter. Sorry, in your mind does the wrong shape matter, and where can be dismissed of just being fussing. P.S. I dare you to do the rest of the Q&A wearing your Stormtrooper TIE Fighter outfit. It's not a TIE Fighter one, it's a Shadow Trooper. Nobody would hear me, that's the trouble. Yeah, I don't know about doing it as a build on a Saturday, because they are quite expensive, complicated. Well, not really for the Tamiya one, but kits. But it is definitely something we could do. Steve could build one, I'll build the other, and we'll see who's his best. You know, as in point of view of the kit, not the quality of the model. So we could give that a go if Steve wants to do one.
Oh, I'll build one, yeah.
So we could probably sort that out. I intend to do them all, as we said. If a kit comes out, like as we know, we've got the SU30s coming out, 34, sorry, coming out. I'll get both of those. Yes, we will do a head-to-head. I'm going to do it on the 31s, the MiG-31s, because we've got two of those. The Tomcats, we will do it. And then we can do, obviously, look at the Hobby Boss SU27 perhaps against the old Academy one, which basically I've built loads of those and things like that. So there's definitely, I think, kits out there we can do. And even though we will show the difference between even the older ones to the new one, it doesn't just have to be two new manufacturers came out with the same kit. We'll pull one of the old ones from the stash and then we can see, really, this is the difference, you know. So it is probably well worth going ahead. Or perhaps if you've got one in your stash, it's not really worth having a go with it and stuff like that. So yes, we will definitely be doing it though, that's for certain. But yes, I can't wear my helmet because otherwise nobody will hear it. That's the trouble with that one. Right, okay. Arthur says, hi guys, I was wondering if the Badger mixture will work in a 17mm Valero paint bottles. I don't know, what size neck are they? I don't know what neck size they are. Hold on, I will try one. I don't know, because we were saying about this, the Badger one, apparently the machiny bit on the end is smaller than the Trumpeter one. Get the top off. Does it fit? No, doesn't fit. It's close, that is really, really close. But sadly, no cigar. So it is literally that close. To be honest, if I gave it some welly, I could probably get it in there. My worry would be I won't get it back out. Okay? But
give it a little sand, that'll do the job.
Look, I bet if yeah, if I take a bit off, but you see it does sort of fit in there, but not quite. It's close, really, really close, but not totally. So I don't think it'll work very well with those, unless, as I say, you could do as Steve said, you could grind off a tiny bit for this, but you can get different ones of this, because don't forget, at the end of the day, all this actually is a coffee frother. I think it is, isn't it? So you can actually buy, put the lid back on this, other tops for this, because you get like an egg whisk one and stuff like that. So, oh, there it is. There's the top of the paint. So you could, if you wanted to, because this just pulls off the end here. Okay, so you just literally yank that off, okay, and you can put a different one on here. So in theory, you could come up with different heads, okay, and just put them in for different sizes. So perhaps you could do this, a smaller one if you've got two, grind one of these down. You know, you'd only have to take off probably a mil, and that would be it. But
well, I know in the past, people have posted up on the forum where they've actually taken the coffee frother and customised it themselves. Cut bits off and make their own. So that could be a way to do it.
I assume they all come out the same place in China. Maybe just the end bit could be different quality, because say the coffee frother one tends to have like an egg whisk thing on the end, doesn't it? And you get different ones. And isn't it the trumpeter end of this is more like a fan? Whereas this one is just sort of, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not even an oval, but it's this type of shape. Come on. There, where are you? See, with this one, it is literally that type of shape. But I think, isn't it the trumpeter one that's more like a fan on the end?
I'm not sure about the trumpeter one.
Funny star shape on that one, but yeah. But no, it won't fit in one of those off the bat. You're going to do it, and I'm pretty sure the guys were saying on the forum that the trumpeter one is bigger than this one. So not too sure about that. Okay, George Thompson. Hi Phil and Steve. I was wanting to try out the Nipper 2-pack clear product, but have been that you've been using lately. But I've not been able to find this product in the US. Is the product or equivalent that I can buy here? Now, just so happens, our very own Matt messaged me on this exact question because he saw this one come up. Okay, so he says, well, I better not read that bit. Okay, I'll be wearing pastel suits. Yeah, okay, right. Okay, so question about the Q&A about Nipper and how to get some in the States. PPG and DuPont you should be able to get those over there. We'll do a similar thing. Or any other make of MS 2K lacquer will also do, as they do the same thing. Hope that helps. As I say, I don't know much about it. I got hold of this stuff and that's what I've been using. Seems to work a trick. So I don't actually know too much about it, but Matt was saying that basically in the States you're looking for PPG or DuPont. They should be able, or any makes of MS2K lacquer will also do the same thing. So there we go, that's what you're looking for at the end of the day. The big thing about 2-pack means it has an activator. Without the activator, I don't think it ever will go off. It just stays soft. Okay, you probably get a skin on it and that'll be about it. You need the hardener in there. Now the hardener is the bit that makes everything work because one, you can put down a thicker coat. Because it's a chemical reaction, it's all going. It's not like it's soft underneath or wet underneath. It's going to dry universally all over, and if you had to add a little bit of heat to it, i.e. like a hairdryer on a cool setting, everything happens a lot quicker. So within 20 minutes you're totally workable. Within 2 hours it's hard as nails if you heat it up a bit with a hairdryer, because it just helps the chemical reaction push on a bit. And that was from Crockett and Tubbs, as they're going to be known when they turn up at the wedding on Thursday. Okay, did you learn anything?
No, I didn't find anything about it, but...
Oh right, okay, scrap that.
I was trying to, but yeah, you'll be able to buy it in. Just put 2-pack.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought you were still looking at frothy coffee frothers or something on there.
No, looking at that.
Oh, right, okay. Right, Rob says, hi guys, I'm just wondering, you're doing a pair, yeah, well, I suppose we are. Yeah, you're doing a pair of Boba Fett related kits in due course. But is that an extra to an upcoming Star Wars SIG? Yes, this is me and Steve's thing that we do for the Saturday show. So we're starting it this Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah.
Is it this Saturday? Yeah, it's this
It
Saturday.
is, yeah.
Yeah, so as I say, me and Steve, we do our bits for the Saturday show, and it's going to be part of that. So it's all going to be bobber related. So it's Slave 1. I've got another Slave 1. I've got 2 Slave 1s. And then obviously we've got Boba Fett himself. And again, a lot of it is, don't worry, it's Star Wars, because it's more going to be about weathering, chipping, fading, and everything else. Because if you've ever seen Slave 1 or Boba Fett, come to think of it, he's pretty kicked in. So that is the plan for that one, because obviously the kit's going together. That's like a 2-hour job. The rest of it is all going to be painting, weathering, and basically showing you guys exactly how we tackle the same thing different ways, because Steve has his way of doing it, I have mine, so it makes it always quite interesting. Also, will I be able to enter the Bandai Millennium Falcon into the SIG? I have one I've been waiting to build with a lighting kit. I'll be putting together for myself, but I need some motivation. December the 1st is when you can officially start, because trust me, I've got quite a lot of Star Wars stuff over there. It's piling up, to say the least. This is my latest bit that's just turned up. This one. It was cheap, what can I say? But it is over a foot big, and actually the details don't look too bad. So I'm thinking a little bit of scratch building. We should have here how big is this thing? It's quite big, isn't it?
483. Is it 483?
Yeah, it's actually, there you go. Yeah, it's 43 centimetres long. So it's quite a lump. So yeah, it should be quite a nice one, really. But I've actually seen somebody else online do something to one of these and did a stunning job on it, and it sort of gave me the inspiration for this one.
So it's that
one. Yeah, so it's quite big, isn't it?
Yeah. And I've just got Pose X-Wing.
That's it. Yeah. Got Pose. Yeah, we've got them all. So I know there's a few of you have been getting the ATAT. Well, it's not ATAT, is it? It's an ATACT. It's Attack Cargo Transport thing. Because they're available, aren't they? The new little snap tight kits. You can get them. They're about this tall, but that big. Just the little kids one, so they look quite good. But yeah, Star Wars month is traditionally my sci-fi sort of Star Wars month and all the rest of it. And as you know, I've got quite a lot of stuff, but that's for next year for something separate and everything else like that. So, but yes, I have a massive box down there from a novice with the entire of my Shadow Trooper thing, which if you haven't seen, any opportunity to show this off, no, I won't wear it. So yeah, we've got the bucket. Done that bit. I've done all my padding on it and my bits and pieces for that. That's all sorted now. So, but I've still got the rest of the suit of armour to do as well. So yes, we have all of that coming along very, very soon. Okay, so yeah, December. Wait till December and then you go for it. So you just got over a month and a week, and we'll be good to go on that one. Okay, James says, G'day Phil and Steve. I really need to thank you and everyone connected to florymodels. Well, what we've done now. Having newly returned to the hobby from a very extended time, your site makes it so easy to find information of all the changes to the hobby. For instance, I've recently used AK Microfiller Primer and absolutely love it. My question is, there are 2 other colours, black and white, I use the grey, and there's certain applications for different colour primers. I know I'd use the AK black primer for their metal colours, and I'm just wondering if the other colours have an advantage in certain situations. Thank you for taking the time to answer my question. Keep up all the hard work, it's much appreciated. That's Jim from Colorado in the USA. Welcome, Jim. Yeah, I tend to do grey, my standard colour, okay, but if I'm going to be using anything metals and stuff, I tend to use black. Okay, and then if I'm going to be going for colours, sort of vibrant colours like yellows for instance, or reds and stuff like that, I'll use a white primer underneath, just because it shows through. Also, if you're in a situation like we did the dolphin classic example, going back a step, because it was orange, I knew it was going to have to shine through a bit, so I wanted a white base underneath it. It saves you having to build up layers of paint to hide the darker colour. I don't know if there's any real rule of thumb with it, but I tend to do that thing where if it's a light colour, I want my primer to be lighter than the colour of paint, because that way you're not having to overcoat it. which is something that comes in about black basing and stuff like that, because technically if you wanted to black base orange, i.e. your primer's black first, you're going to have to put down a lot of orange to get that colour, because it's going to darken up and then you need it to lighten up as it comes through. But if you start light, it's easier. So what I would say is, if you're doing lighter colours, so yellows of this world, oranges of this world, anything that's a sort of light type of colour, then go in with white first, because it just makes things easier to cover, and you'll get a nice reflective effect from the light underside with your top colour of paint on there. If you're doing other things like blacks and you want a deep solid colour, then obviously you want to go with black. But also as well, you can save yourself a bit of time, because to be honest, the tail on that Mitsubishi F1 I did, being black, the nose and the fuel tank, is the primer, because I used the primer to pre-shade it, and then I just had it left over, so I did the entire tail with it and stuff like that, just to save time. Grey is really your neutral thing in the middle. Okay, so, you know, like for instance, if I was going to be doing something perhaps like a Star Wars thing, I could technically prime it in white, because I'm going to be putting a very light colour over the top, so I don't want to use gallons of paint to change the colour, and things like that. Steve, what about you? When would you go different colours?
Yeah, well, about 99% of the time I use grey. I use black, especially gloss black, if I want doing a metallic finish and I want a really high shine. If I don't want a high shine, I tend to stick to grey for metals as well, because it really gives you a really dull looking metallic colour. And like I say, with white, the only times I'd usually use it, if I'm spraying like orange like the dolphin, or yellow or red, they're the only times I'd use that. Or the majority of the time I just use grey.
I must admit, it does tend to be my colour of choice. You know, grey, it's one of those things also, if you need to sand it afterwards for seam filling and stuff like that, the grey just shows up over everything, where if you then think, oh, I'm not too happy about that seam line, give it a light sand. If it's white or black, it's going to be quite hard to see it as easy as it can be with greys and things like that. So, but again, it really is, because you'll get guys and they'll talk about black basing and how they love black basing and it gives them this, that and the other, then they're going to go with black. Personally, I would always go grey unless it's something really light, and then I'm going to go in with the white one. But again, it is that thing, you can save yourself a little bit of time. If you don't need to, you know, with the black, you can think, well, I'll do it all in black because a lot of it's black, and could have called it the black colour afterwards and do it that way. So let's say it is personal choice on that one. Okay, Peter Marsh says, hi Phil and Steve, I have some clear parts that have become fogged due to overspray from kicker even. Any tips on how to rescue them? What kicker did you use? I hope you didn't use Zapagap, because that stuff's ruined my paintwork on many an occasion. To be honest, this is why I like this stuff, which is the Vital Bond. Oh god, my bucket's going to interfere with me cameras. This stuff here is the Vital Bond stuff. The whole reason I use this and I don't use anybody else's one is because I have found this one to work over anything and not affect it. Literally with that one you can come along and you can spray glass with it and it'll give you a little residue, but nothing at all. It doesn't go white, doesn't go foggy, but I must admit, and I have still got it under there, I bought a can of Kicker Super, to go along with Zapagap. And it's the Zapagap Kicker, and I sprayed it onto a model and it went for like white frost, and it ruined my paintwork and I had to get it all off and everything else like that. So that's why I do like this stuff, and I need to get some because I am out.
Well, see, I can show on it, yeah.
Yeah, go on, hold on.
On the old Buster, that's just...
Yeah.
Well, I can spray on the canopy first,
and
then on the back, and then I usually do that and then just blow it.
Yeah, I just blow on it.
And see where, well, you can have to see where it's been. There's a little white, but that'll just.
There's no white fog. It will just go. It will keep evaporating. Yeah. But there's no white frosting that you'd get technically with other people's. And it rubs away nice and clean and easy and everything else.
It doesn't even soften the paint or anything.
No.
In fact, it's made it look shinier. But then you can just get a bit of kitchen roll and just wipe it, and that'll get rid of it. But yeah, I always use that. But usually I won't use it straight on a matte surface. Usually you've got your, when you're doing your model, you've got it on a satin finish. But yeah, it's good. But it's also,
Really
you can get some that come with a little brush in a little jar. That's always worth trying to hunt some of that down, because then you only need to put a little tiny drop where you're going to be putting the part, and then as soon as you do it, the two will glue together. But yeah.
Yeah, I think, you want to be a little bit careful when you're using all of the kickers and various things like that, because usually, let's face it, we're all guilty. You put the last bits on with a little bit of super glue, aerials, weapons, and then you give it a squirt with kicker, and it has ruined the reason it's down there is like a warning to me never to use it. But the Zapper Gap stuff, it went white and crispy, and it was horrible. But I've used this stuff now for, we must be getting on 10 years now, and it is just my thing. I know it's safe. I've sprayed it on canopies and everything else. If you do it on a canopy and you get like a sort of residue, all you do, cotton bud, wet the end of it and polish it, then use the dry end and it'll go. It doesn't etch into the surface of your paintwork at all. And as Steve says, it will soften your paint a little bit, but it won't make it run or anything else. So if you do want to do that thing of like sticking a weapon in and then give it a squirt with some kicker, job done, and away you go. You'll be absolutely fine with it. But like everything, try it first. If you're not sure, try it on a little something, see how you get on with it. Do it on your buster or anything else, because as I say, you don't want to be in those final stages, squirt and then horrendous, and have loads of trouble.
I'm going to say, Phil, I've just tried it now. If you just very gently squirt some into a little shot glass, obviously just goes to a liquid, so then you've got it in liquid form. I don't know if you can see that as it drips out.
Yeah.
You've got it in liquid form then, so then you could apply some to your model with a little brush and then put your part on it. So that's the way. And as long as you work quick, it'll probably evaporate quickly. But yeah, you can do that with it. It's easy to decant.
Definitely. Okay, so there we go. That helps. Okay, Chris says, hi guys. I can't join you live for the Q&A broadcast today, but I'll get to watch it anyways when I get home. I have two questions. First question is for Steve. I'm looking to build a 1/35th scale Hobby Boss AAVP 7A1. I don't know either.
You do. You've just bought one.
Oh, have I? Oh, is that what it is?
It's that amphibious, US Marine amphibious.
Oh, right. There we go. I didn't know it was called one of those. Okay. There are 6 or 7 versions with significant price differences between the kits. Have you built it yourself? If so, what do you think? And you can recommend one over the other, and why? I'll get mine then. Hold on, it must be here in your pile.
I believe the one I've got one as well, and I think it's the same one as Phil's got.
Hey.
I went for that one. I do have the Tamiya one, but that's pretty poor now in comparison to the Hobby Boss one. If, to be honest, I wish I'd have gone for the one. You can get one with a pleat armor all down the sides and the front, and that looks amazing. So, in hindsight, I wish I'd have waited and bought that one. But if you can't get the one with the applique armor that looks really cool, go with the one that Phil's got, because I've got the same one.
Yeah, because this one's like 30 quid is the recommended retail on this, but I picked this one up from Creative because it was in their sale this week. I don't know how much it was because I haven't got that bit, I've just got the recommended retail price. But yeah, it was in their sale. But I've always fancied one of these. I love the marine amphibious vehicles. Have you seen the video that's doing the rounds at the moment with the Russian ones? Are they Russian? Might not be Russian, might be somebody else's. Anyway, it's amphibious ones and they're on like a harbour wall and it must be 10, 15 feet down to the water and they just launch clean off, but 4 of them together. And they just jump through the air, hit the water, and then obviously submerge a bit and then bob back up and then off they go. But obviously it's done for some demo or something else like that. But yeah, that was the thing to it. But I thought that was impressive. You wouldn't want to be.
Well, you saw them in the Gulf War and as well as in the second one. US Marines using them, and they're just incredible. They're absolute beasts.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just really like the look of them.
Yeah,
and when you see it coming through the sea, and there's just this little, obviously a little turret and a little bit showing, you think, well, not to be worried about that. And then you see it coming out of the water, and it's seriously impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I must admit, the reason I bought that one is that I've been wanting to do something, well, one of these types myself, and it came up and it was in the sale, so I thought, oh, that'll do, bargain. But it's one of those bucket list kits I'd like to do. I'd love to do one of those. I like doing my armour, and I thought something a little bit different. But as for he's saying about recommended kits above the other, we're saying the one with the applique armour on the sides?
That one looks nicer, I think. I don't know, something about the applique armour looks really, really good, but that's the kit. I can't remember why I chose it now, but that's the one I ended up buying when obviously I wanted to get one. So
yeah, definitely. Okay, second question is for me. Are you still planning on doing the how-to build your own alien pulse rifles project you mentioned earlier in the year? As I'm thinking it's dropped down your build list as you've not mentioned it lately. Have a great show. Keep the smiles coming. Can't wait to see both the Bandai, Boba Fett and Slave 1 builds. True, it is. It's here still. Well, say still, it's done, but I've got to weather it and all the rest of it. Yeah, so we do have this guy and everything else. Now, this particular one is a kit, but I've also got a 3D printed kit as well. Now, as you might notice, we've got quite a bit of sci-fi stuff piling up around here, and that's a bit of a clue for things that are going to be happening next year, all right? So it's all going to be part of that side of things as it moves through. So it will be everything sort of prop related, sci-fi related, and everything else like that. It's going to be slightly on a separate playing field to what we do here, but it is all going to be still the same part of being. You're still going to see everything and everything else. But yes, no, we have got it. And all the bits and pieces, and it is here. This one just needs weathering up now, and I intend to go through a full metallization of this one as well to make it look like it, because at the moment obviously it's just plastic and things like that. This is metal up here, this is metal, that's metal, but the rest of it's all plastic. So I want to make it all look like metal, do the bluing effects, chipping, scuffing, you name it, and everything to this one and everything else like that. So yes, definitely it is all coming. It's just that we haven't quite got there yet, if that makes sense. As soon as we do, we'll be good to go. But as I say, stay tuned.
I'm going to say, if we're doing a prop thing, then next year I'll have to get a Princess Leia outfit.
Yes, definitely. And we'll get, I don't know, Rob a Lando outfit and everything else like that. So yes, all these things are coming. Some of it I've already, to be honest, already started working on and things like that as well. But yes, it's all going to make sense, trust me. Just bear with us on this one. We just need to get a lot of things in position first before we sort of jump down that route. And obviously lots of things still going on this side of it as well. But this particular one will be one of the first things up next year, as will, and there's your clue, this guy will as well, are going to be the first two big things up next year. And we've got other things coming as well. And I've working with a couple of other little companies and things like that for various other items that we've done, prop related and various things like that as well. So hopefully it's all going to come together. I'm still working on most of it. Okay, so Peter says, hi guys, Phil, do you think the Badger paint stirrer could get Stynel res out of the naughty corner? Trouble with that is, once Stynel res starts going thick and gooey, I don't think any amount of whizzing is going to make it any better. I think that's literally about it once it's gone. And to be honest, as you might notice, I don't even have any anymore either. As good as it is, and it is very nice stuff, I just can't afford to have bottles of it dying on me. And it's all very well saying about rethinning and going through. Just a bit of a headache. Are yours all okay, Steve?
Yeah, mine's still fine, yeah.
Yeah, so I hasten to add the reasons why, because obviously I don't have any contact with Badger, the same way I don't have any contact with any company, but it does seem to be, just speaking to you guys and the troubles you've had with it and various things like that, there just seems to be a sort of disparity between all the different colours, especially because some colours seem to do it, some colours seem to be fine, the viscosity seems to be all over the place. I don't know, it just seems to be a little bit, I don't know, too much of an issue. And it's all very well saying, okay, well, you just need to thin it, but not really the point. You just want something that I can pour, and that's why I use products I use, is because you just got them in the bottle, shake them, chuck them in, and they're good to go. But it is good stuff, because it's a shame. It's still the best acrylic primer out there. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate the stuff. I just don't like using it. If that makes sense. The product itself is extremely good. It just takes a little bit playing around with. But as you say, for an acrylic, it is the go-to only option as far as I'm concerned. Acrylic primer out there. Okay, lacquer. I must admit, I like the AK microfiller. That works really nicely and gives you a very smooth surface. So yeah, very good. What are you using, Steve? Still on XF19?
I am, yes, but
I will convert him one day.
no, I'm going to start using. I've got that Tamiya surface primer that you mix yourself, so I'm going to give that another go. So the first time it was a bit cobwebby, but now I know to thin it a lot more. I'm going to probably use that.
Speaking of cobwebby, obviously Halloween is just around the corner. Have you seen the glue gun? You know the hot glue guns you can get?
Yeah.
You know, hold on, I've got one here. You know, one of these.
Yeah.
So you got your glue stick in the back. Well, under here, what it is, you put your airline into it, and then you spray it. So it melts your glue, and then it sprays air, and you can spray it and makes cobwebs.
Cool. Go on, stick your airline on it then.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, I haven't got this isn't the correct one, but you have it. But it has an airline fitting that goes in the bottom, and then obviously the airflow pushes it off the nozzle like a thick, heavy industrial airbrush and does it. But that's the same way. If you get yours and you don't thin it and put it in your airbrush, and if you go maximum air pressure, you'll get cobwebbing too. So...
Oh, you'll have to give that a go. Get yourself a little attachment for your glue gun. That'd be quite fun watching that.
It would be great because I saw a couple of videos on it and people like doing outside decks and stuff for Halloween, and it really does look really good. But I'm just worried then because if it's not biodegradable, God, it'll make a mess. Be hanging around for weeks. Okay, second part of the question. Yeah, I should go mental. Can you imagine? I've just gone round everywhere. The dog's covered in it and can't get it off. Okay. Also, have you got any interest in building? Have you been talking to him? Trumpeter's 135th BR52 Locomotive. It would be a great canvas for extreme weathering. Funny enough, this was Steve's idea for the group build for Telford, wasn't it? Yeah,
but you mentioned it a few shows ago.
I know.
But you'd fancy building one, but...
I do, yeah, yes. The simple answer is yes, I would love to have a go of it. I must admit, Stefan did his one, and it looks absolutely stunning. It just really is there. And as you say, you could do as much or as little with it as well if you weather it. You could just almost do it in dark iron, in buffables, and then buff it. And all the rest of it, and it would look absolutely stunning. So yeah, I definitely. But is there interest? Tons of it. It is on one of my. It will happen. I just don't know when, if that makes sense. But yeah, if I had like another one of me, I would get him to do it. Probably I'd like to have a go at something next year. Let's say next year we've got various different things happening, but one of them is I want to do a few little weird and wacky things amongst everything else as well. So that could be definitely one of them, because I think it's just be one of those sort of lessons in different types of weathering and various things like it.
It'd look good as well, especially if you went, because there's that many different types of carriages that you can get to attach to it. That'd look really good.
And they do all the different track segments, don't they, and points and various things. You almost build an entire layout in it. So,
it would look good, yeah.
Well, if I end up doing that, you're doing all the freight for it.
Well, we said we'd all build one each, and then...
Yeah, I get lumbered with the engine, though. Can't I just do some wagon?
Yeah, but if you go for the wagon, and then you'd have to put a load on it and do it all up. Yeah. But if you went the full aftermarket route as well, that'd look seriously impressive. Could even get a little smoke generator.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do those as well. Yeah, it'd be good, that. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Grant says, hello Phil and Steve, hope you're both well. Phil, I'm building the Academy 148 scale EA-18G, which is known as the Growler. I recently got a set of raw Australian Air Force decals for the 2015 rollout scheme of this aircraft. The kit is a bit of a horror though. Which one was? Oh, the Academy one. Right, got you. Did they do that kit? I'm just sorry, hold on. Academy? Did Academy? Can you check that, Steve? Have they done a Growler? I didn't realise they'd done a Growler. I know Revel had done one, and I know Hasegawa had done one, but I didn't realise Academy had done one. Especially the intakes. Have you ever built this kit? No, because that's why I'm getting him to double check. I believe it may be a rebox of the Italeri one. Ah, right. But not sure. If you've built it, any advice? Right, hold on. Dictionary Corner's just on that one.
No, I'm not fine. It just says it's hilarious so far.
Because the only people I know have done the G are Hasegawa, which is obviously the creme de la creme kit, that's the nice one. And then Italeri did one, which is an old one, which is actually, it's off of the F with an upgrade. But the kit isn't really accurate to that one anyway, and it doesn't have posable flaps or slats and all the bits and pieces, which is a bit of a shame. You can do it, and I have done it in the past. Before the Hasegawa kit came out, that's what I did. I used to convert the F by dropping the flaps and various bits. And Revel did one, but I didn't know if they did the G. It could be a Rebox, as we were saying. Anyway, Steve had a look, I'll carry on. On the F-18s, having built so many, what brand would you say is the best kit you have built? Right, okay, now when I built them all, don't forget, this is in 2000, so it's a few years ago now, and there are other kits available. That's the difference. Back in the day, though, it was Hasegawa, my only option. The Hasegawa, they did the AB kit, so you could do the A, the A+, and the B. Then you could do the C and the D. You had that versions as well, so you had those 4 kits. And between all of them, you could do all the legacy versions of the Hornets. They are all lovely, no problem at all, fantastic kits, okay? But there is another option. The Hobby Boss one, although it's a little bit more clunky and not as nice and not as refined, it's about half the price. So from a, pairs, if I could get it out, I would, because I've got the Hobby Boss one down there in digital camo. But if you put them side by side, a quick glance, you'll never know the difference. If you look closely, the details are a lot finer, a lot more crisper on the Hasegawa kit. That said, though, when you move over to the Super Hornet or the E, F, and G versions, there is some other options around, because obviously you've got the classic, which is the Italeri one, which was the first Super Hornet kit out there. Okay, very basic, very crude, covered in sink marks, not the nicest detail, and technically isn't an accurate representation of an F-18 Hornet, but it looks like one. Okay. Revel, which is the horrible kit, the way it goes together is just a nightmare from start to finish. It just doesn't work. And then you've got Hasegawa, and Hasegawa obviously do the E, F, and the G. We've still got those builds. I think there's the G version, no, the F, on the site. I think the Diamondbacks is still on the site. You can see the full build about that one. They are beautiful kits, no problem at all. They go together really, really well, and the details are absolutely beautiful. But you're paying a huge price. They're about 75 quid a kit, and they are stupid money for what they are, because you can go out and get, say, the Revel one and that. Any news on that Academy one?
Well, I've been on Academy's website, and they've got nothing. It's not showing up at all. But, for you, Phil, they do a fantastic range of airsoft guns.
Do they?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Like the Mosveg M500 chainsaw, an AC870A5, another Mosveg, a shotgun.
Oh.
They do a really good. We do the semi-electric, air shot, normal ones, air rifle and SMG guns, air handgun, dart gun. They do all sorts.
So I never knew that. No, I must admit. Well, there you go. So yeah, we're a little bit confused about that Academy. I'm thinking perhaps you mean Revel, because Revel do them. Again, if Revel was half the price of Hasegawa, I would go Hasegawa if you could afford it, but there is other options. Okay, there is a couple of other ones if you were doing the other ones, but that's for the C and D versions and stuff like that, because Connecticut just released one and stuff like that. But if you're talking Super Hornets, they are in 48. I think the Hasegawa ones are the best ones to go for. Really, really nice kits. Again, they're not perfect, but they're as close as you're going to find.
We do an Uzi 9mm.
Uzi 9mm. I haven't got one of them.
Yeah, there you go.
One. I could do with one of them in my life.
It's an electric one, so it no doubt fires really quick.
If you're going to have one, you have to have a really big gun. This is my Stars from Raccoon City. So everyone gets a bonus point for knowing what that film is from, or game if you like, and all the rest of it. So yes, that's my one there. Oh. So I have to cut down on it all. Right, question for Steve. Have you seen Thunder Models 1/35th scale US Army tractor case BAI and the US Army loader? They look nice kits and something different.
Yeah, they do.
Isn't that thing you showed me? What's that thing you showed me? That looks like a forklift.
Oh no, that's something different. That's German.
Oh right.
No, these are just coming out. It's like just a normal case tractor that they'd probably, for towing aircraft, stuff like that. It looks really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if somebody's put it on the forum yet, but yeah, I've seen them. It's nice to see something different being built.
I must admit, I've been saying this, haven't I been saying it for years now, that technically it's nice to see, some more civil stuff coming on. I've been saying that why JCB, Case and all the other companies like it haven't released or got licensing to make civilian equipment. Because let's face it, a Husky, that's a road planer, isn't it?
Virtually, yeah. Yeah.
So they're there almost, and I think it would be a nice side to the hobby because obviously, heavy plant construction, and all the different sort of big sizes of them and everything else like that. I think seriously, with the models these days, the way they're sort of engineered, that you could have them almost like working because they do RC stuff for them and stuff like that. So why don't you just do normal model kits? I'm sure there'd be a market for it because I'd build it. As long as it was decent, and not some horrible kit going together. But if it was something like Bandai, suddenly released the JCB, I'd probably give it a go.
Yeah, well, I've always fancied doing civilian American ones, recovery truck. Always fancied doing one of them because you could really have it all battered and all oil stains and grease and grime off it. That'd look quite good.
Yeah. So my point is, surely Meng must have had the licensing from the D9, yeah? From the Dozer. So they would have got the licensing, I assume, from them to build it, to do it. So why don't they just bring out a civilian version? Why do they feel the need to cover it in armour? Because technically, surely they could do a slightly cheaper kit without all the armour and do the civilian version.
Yeah.
Seems a bit weird that. There we go. We'll start a next thing now.
It's all down to sales, though, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
They've got to sell more armoured ones than they would normal ones.
True. Okay, so Palmjit says, "Hi guys, I've got the Hasegawa F18 on the bench. Phil, since you built one or two yourself, what is the best way to do the red outlines on the hangar doors?" Right, you mean the gear doors? To be honest, I am a complete cheat at this. And I use a Sharpie. For years, I used to mess about and go through, with like red, thinned red paint and all the rest of it. Honestly, grab a Sharpie, go just round those edges, and then do it 2 or 3 coats, and then give it a flat coat over the top. Nice dusty, don't wet it so it's soaking because it might bleed. But a Sharpie I have found absolutely fine. I say it's a shame I can't get it out because the one down there is done with a Sharpie. But that, if you remember rightly, even when I've done all of my stuff, when we did, just trying to think once we've done, the Intruder, I think I used a Sharpie. It's just the quickest and easiest way. Just whip it around the edges and do it straight away like that. It's clean, tidy, and it takes seconds. And instead of messing around, and for years, when I did all of those Hornets, every single time I would have an upturned pot. I'd have a little bit of red, a little bit of thinners in there, each individual door going round, wiping off the excess and all of that. Now, zip, 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 job done. No problem at all. But a Sharpie. You can use obviously normal felts, but trust me, a Sharpie works really, really well. It's good, strong, vibrant colour. 2 or 3 coats. So put one down, do them all, and go back over and do them again. It'll go solid red. And if you want to seal it, just put a flat coat right over it. And that way you're not going to have any problem with it bleeding through. Easy.
Yeah. Well, if you are, because I use a Sharpie now, but if you're using a paintbrush, don't use the tip of your paintbrush. Just use it on the side. And if you just pull the side and just go along. So get it right up there and use the side of the brush, bristles, rest it on and do it that way. If you're using your tip, you tend to go all over the place. And I find that just use the side, and as though you're dry brushing as well.
Oh yes, right. Okay, Tim says, God, that's a big question. Crikey, that's a really big question. Well, it looks big on my phone. Okay, first of all, amazing fast delivery on some sanding sticks. I only live up the road, well, junction 5 of the M5. Which one's junction 5? Just trying to think where that is. Junction 5? No, that's right at the top near Birmingham. Yeah, it's quite away from us. That's the other Midlands, isn't he? So yes, we're down at the end. We're past junction 31, which is the last one. But I have family in Torquay, well, you know it's then, and often have to wait several days to a week for stuff to arrive from the post first class. Ordered Sunday evening and I have them in my hands now. See, it works. As payday looms, I think I'll be ordering some of your stuff. A couple of questions though, now that Model Mates is no more. Model Mates, who's Model Mates? I can't think who I can't think who Model Mates are. According to the teaser message on their homepage. Are your washes a suitable alternative? They're obviously very different to the washes I'm used to fiddling with. I've never heard of them, and to be honest, if there's something like our product, I tend to know it, and I just can't think of that. Hold on, dictionary corner's on it.
No, I just had a message of Simon Capes sending me a link about the Academy F18.
Oh, they do one then?
Well, he sent me a link, but unfortunately the link don't work.
Right.
Because I have to be a member to this site where he sent it from. So there could well be one,
Oh, right, fair enough. Okay.
So it's Model Mates.
Yeah, can you have a look for Model Mates?
Yeah, of course I can.
I'll just move on, we'll come back to that. Secondly, I'm having real difficulty getting a smooth finish from dipping the canopy. It's for a sci-fi flyer, or a ski-fi flyer, and there's no curves whatsoever, just flat planes. In spite of repeated attempts cleaning, I'm just trying to work out what could be going wrong, and whatnot to get a smooth finish. I get visible ripples and pulls in the middle of the panel. I'm wondering if I need to thin the viscosity to the dip to overcome the surface tension of the flat area. It's really annoying. It looks great where it has worked. Right, okay, a couple of questions. One, what are you dipping it in? If you're still on, come back to us, because if you're using a normal sort of gloss or something and you're dipping, if you're using like an acrylic floor cleaner or floor polish like clear or something else like that, then there is other things you can do. When I dip all my canopies and clear parts, because I do flat stuff, because the Dolphin helicopter, they're all flat paint. When you go in, my secret is I go in one quick dip and then I'll pull out, knock it all off, okay, and then I'll go back in and do it again. But this time, when I pull it off, I pull it extremely slowly out, not just so it's right off at the bottom, but all the way through, so it's got time to roll and to get a nice even finish. The thing it may be though is that the plastic is really shiny and it's having a hard time etching into the surface and actually sticking on there. So that could be a problem. So if it's starting to sort of pool up in different areas, something else like that. But I would do is dip once, get a nice coat when it's all covered in there, second one in, really slow, and pull it out really slowly. So it's got time to flow off so you don't end up with the puddles at one end. When you come off, onto a paper towel, onto a corner to again let it all flow off and all the rest of it. And then if you can get onto like a spring-loaded clamp, something else like this, try and keep it level. Do it so it's level and then cover it with something over the top to stop dust and junk and bits falling on top of it and stuff like that, because otherwise you're going to end up with imperfections. But from what you're saying there, you're saying it's got ripples in it. I'm just a little bit worried what you're dipping it in. If you're getting ripples, it sounds like it's too thick. But, you know, there is options out there. Obviously, that is my go-to one at the moment. I love that. Or you've got other flavours available, which are almost the same, but they're not. They are different. And then you've got things like, grab it. Ooh, you've got Goozy. And what's that one? Oh yeah, Goozy Agent and the Goozy Gloss Coat as well. They work quite well. And everything else like that. So it's personal choice exactly how you want to go about doing it. This stuff though, don't be fooled. This isn't this. This is something weird. There you go, Steve. Has yours gone solid yet in the bottom of a glass? This is like tar in the bottom here.
No, it didn't, because I knocked it over and it went over.
Oh right. I left mine a bit in there. To be honest, we've still got a cup upstairs. I will check it for next week's Q&A. I'll bring it down. It's been in the blasting sun. Last couple of days we've had some good weather here, and it's been sat in the sun being boiled up there. So it'll be interesting to see if it's going white or doing anything.
Right. Model Mates weathering wash.
Oh, right.
They're no longer in operating. They thank the customers. However, there's some on eBay. A semi-transparent, water-soluble ink for weathering models. And further down it says solvent-based dye or ink for weathering all types and sizes of models. Dries quickly to a matte finish. Translucent when dry, creates a fine translucent coating. Water-soluble, washes off non-porous surfaces. It's... Bit sound of it's just ink.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
It's so, and it's a 25ml pot. Costs £8.50. Oh, heck.
25ml?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
That's not a lot for.
I'd say 25ml.
Problem with inks.
A bottle of ours. Yeah.
Inks can stain. That's what I find. I don't like using them as a wash, unless you. Certain circumstances, because I've got my own black Indian ink washed up. But you have to be very careful when applying it. I always have a pot of water. Because if you put too much on it and you don't get it off quickly enough, it can stain. So it's a lot trickier to use.
There was a product called the Detailer. It's not that, is it?
No.
No, because there was a product called the Detailer, which was and I used to use it. Here you
go. I'll show you the bottle.
Oh, in picture, look. Yeah, see, I've never seen that. Oh, right, okay.
That's clever, that. Who could get that infinity look if I look at you?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. So yeah, I must admit, I've never heard of that one. The only one that I know because I did used to have it. I used to use it for wheel wells and stuff like that years ago. It was a company called the Detailer, and I remember rightly, it was an American brand, and it sounds extremely similar to that. It was basically a thinned ink, but again, it was water. It wasn't water. It was water soluble, because if you wet it, you could wipe it off, but it wouldn't come off clean. It would always leave something behind. So it sounds very similar to what that stuff was. So have a look for some stuff called the Detailer. I assume it's still going. I must admit, I've sort of moved on to other things now, but it sounds like it's a very similar thing, because to me it was almost like a watered down ink, and then it never went off though. So you could literally wet it with a cotton bud, give it a wipe round, and you could get most of it out, but it was always a little bit gritty and everything else like that. As opposed to our stuff being a suitable thing, it depends what you're doing with it. If you're using it for detail work, like an ink, then no, ours will be no good, because mine is more designed for an overall grime effect. You can do it if you just want panel lines and clinging around rivets, it will do that quite happily. But if you wanted to do very delicate details and stuff like that, you're probably better off going down enamel washes and things like that, because they'll give you what you're looking for. Mine's designed to do like you see on the videos. It's designed just to chuck it all over your model. Doesn't matter if it's gloss, satin or flat, and then it's strong enough to hold its own eye. It's not going to rub off in your hand, but if you get it wet, you can take it off, and that's where it comes into your own, because you can use it for any type of weathering. You can leave a little bit behind to give you a grime effect, or you can go over a gloss, and that way you'll just have it in your recesses and your panel lines, and you'll be good to go. So as I say, it's just one of those things. It depends really what you're looking for. It sounds to me, if you're looking for more inkified ones, then try the Detailer, because the Detailer sounds very, very similar to that one, and I know that one. Okay, so Toby Page, another one. Look, it's all washes today. Afternoon, guys. A question about the Flory wash. I've run out of dark dirt and grime, and I'll be ordering some soon. In the meantime, I have plenty of the other colours, including brown, grey, light, etc. Is there a combination of leftover colours that will come close to dark, dirt or grime colour? If so, can you please suggest the colours and approximate ratios are best? Sorry Toby, you're out of luck there. You could go with a little bit of black and put a bit of mud in. You won't be able to make grime. I'll tell you now, you can't make grime anywhere near it, because grime is its own pigment colour. It's a colour that we have done for us, and then that's it. That's what goes into it. The dark dirt basically is an offshot of somewhere between sort of black to a brown. It's that midway in between. It's like a dark colour, and to be honest, if you wanted to be really technical with it, you'd have to actually add green to it, because dark dirt is a combination colours of black, green and brown that gives you that type of mix to it. But that is just the way it manufactures and all the rest of it. So it's not an easy one to try and do. But for the dark dirt, you could do like again, trouble with the brown is a very red brown, and you don't want that much red going into it. So you could probably start off with a 50-50 mix between black and brown and try and work something there. Grime, to be honest, you will never get grime, because grime's grime, it's its own colour. It's very difficult. Even during the manufacturing, you can't contaminate one with the other, because it will just ruin the colour. So it is its own colour completely. You didn't even put the spatulas in there the same to mix.
I'm going to say, Toby, what I would do is, if you put your order in now, you'll have it Friday. There you go.
Which is in the UK. If you put it in now, because actually we're not doing orders on Thursday, because we're not here on Thursday. But the sales team are, so it depends. If you're going to come through the members' way, then yeah, but obviously I'm not here Thursday, so can't do it Thursday. But I'll still do orders up till 3 o'clock Wednesday.
Yes, get it in.
Dentist. So get it in. If you get it in, you get it by. If you did it today,
get it in.
You'd get it Thursday.
Yeah.
So yes. Yeah, definitely. Actually, if you put it in now, chances are, because I'll do the orders after this, and I'll do it now for you. You'll be all right. Okay, so Alan Stillwell says, "Hi Phil, Steve. Hope you're both fit and well. Not a modelling question, but one about Snap. How are we doing for the supporting the kids and their families? How much have we managed to raise? And how are their finances looking for next year's trip?" Well, to be honest, there's no trip planned for next year as of yet. As I say, I'm not on the committee in that, I just do my bit, but I don't know exactly what's going on there, and I don't know their state of funding. It's never good. How we're doing, I don't know how we're doing exactly at the moment. To be honest, it's really slowed down. I'm not saying flows are complete, because obviously the thing is, a lot of the guys who have donated is because flow's been to them. So as she's working away, she's sort of, picking up her 10 quids as she makes her way round. So she's doing right. But she's travelling so slow. I couldn't believe how slow she's travelling. And I know you guys want to take her and to get her to events and stuff like that, and appreciate that. Perhaps we should have had the Flow family going out. But it is a lot slower. So at the moment, I think we've raised around about £1,000 or something else like that, which is still fantastic and all the rest of it. But I think once she sort of gets on a roll and starts moving everywhere each week, we can get her sort of going around to various things. She should pick up a lot quicker. But at the moment, last time I heard, she was on her way to Canada last week, so I don't know if she's there yet. So if anyone's seen Flo, shout. But it does seem to take, it's sort of 2 weeks between each visit, and the thing is, at 2 weeks rate, with all the members who want her, we worked out it's going to take 4 years. So we have to sort something out. But I must admit, I have to have a word with Mel. Mel's handling all the finances from Flow. It's all going through her account, to be honest, so we don't get trouble with tax and all things like that. Okay, so it can be done as a separate. So I'll have a word with her when she gets in from work. Okay, Nev says, "Hi Phil and Steve, hope you're both well. A couple of questions for you. Firstly, I have the 172nd Academy F35A Lightning II. I'm wondering how to paint the zigzag patterns on top and bottom. I thought they might have been decals for the kit, but the kit calls out for them to be painted. The areas are very small on this scale, and it's raised. Would you suggest trying to mask, or do you know of another technique to give a straight, don't do that, finish?" And he has got a picture. Hold on, let me just bring this up and you can see. Now what it is, it's the joiny line things that they have. There it is, there we go. And you can see down there, and it is all raised detail, and in fact in reality it's raised as well. It's not like it's totally flat, although that looks a little bit more raised than it is. Unfortunately, it is one of those things. It is what it is. You are going to have to do it. The only good thing about this, which is on your side for it, and it's the way I would do it, I would actually rub, paint your model completely all over your colours, or whichever way you do this, paint your model. Then I would rub masking tape over those lines, and then I would cut them in and then spray it. So, you know, if you wanted to, spray that lighter colour, because they tend to be a lighter shade for those raised bits all over it. Do it all in the lighter colour, put masking tape over it, just go over the top of the line, push it in, cocktail stick around it, and then cut it with a knife. You can get away with cutting it because it's a step anyway. Okay, cut it all with a knife, push it all down, and then that way you should be good to go. You should have no problems with that then, and then that way you'll just be the case of, okay, unmask all the bits off, so you're left with it, all of those areas masked, top colour over the top, final, and then just peel and reveal the lot. It's a huge long job, but to be honest, it is part of it. It's the same as with the Raptor, the F-22s, you know, they have that type of marking. Spent right, doing it right, it makes the model. So in some ways, see that like camo. It's just a very complicated camo and there's a lot of it, but it will definitely be well worth it. I'm still waiting for the big one to come out. Panda's sitting on the 132nd one, haven't they, for like years? When are they ever going to release that one?
You know, one little thing you could do as well is, before you start masking and putting it all down, just give your model a coat of clear. Then when you've masked it, when you peel the masking off, if you haven't got your masking just right and there's any overspray, you can just get a cocktail stick and just rub it off any excess paint, because it won't stick to the clear that well, so you can just take it off.
Yeah, definitely a good bit of advice there. The thing is, as I say, it is a ball lake, but it's one of those ball lakes which is part of the model. When you're going to be tackling doing this modern stuff like it, you almost expect that is part of the paint scheme. See it as part of the paint job. It's just going to be a big one, but it will be well worth it. It is really, really nice. Have a couple of goes, get your colours right to know what you're going to go with. Usually it's 2 shades lighter than the base colour, so you know, you can run it like that. But if you put a little bit of plastic art down, put your colour, then you know what colour it's going to be, because obviously you don't want to be in that situation where you go for the reveal and you unmask it and you can hardly see it because it's the same colour as your first one, or it's so far off it looks stupid. So make sure you get your colours right on that one first. So just have a bit of a play around and go for it like that.
I must say, it's got to look, when the Air Force and Navy get it, when they do the commemorative tail schemes, it'll look really special with them.
Yeah, no. Yes, whenever we get ours here in England, it'll be whenever that is, 2020, is it, or something? Isn't it? I don't know, something like that. I think we've got years yet till we actually get ours. We have got them, but we're just not here. So yes, it would be nice to see them.
I'm going to say, because it'll be, hopefully, 617 to do it for the anniversary. It'll be, what, however many years since the Dam Busters raid, so they might do one.
Yeah,
But that'd be several years yet, though.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice with old 617 stand up with them, it'd be lovely. Okay, second question he put is, I was one of those who rushed out and bought the 172nd MI24 limited edition, and I paid around 55 quid for it. Do you think that was an investment, or will the market be flooded with these? Not far from its released limit. No question, Steve. You're still all good. You're still a god. The thing is, a lot of people have spoke to me about this. I had a lot of people say about buying kits for investments, because I mentioned about it being an investment kit. Don't forget, a lot of the Edard stuff is like limited edition type stuff anyway. I'm looking down there now, and I'm currently looking at an F104, which is a limited edition, and there's a Sabre down there, which is limited edition. All the ones which tend to be, just seeing what other ones we got. Yeah, that's it. Those MiG-21s, they're limited editions as well. Edda like to use the word limited edition, but as far as I know, they do stick to it. They do retire the kit. So once it's done, that's it. It depends if you're buying it from a point of view of a modeler or you're going to be a collector. Because Eddard bring out, I don't know what I'm pointing at those for, but they do bring out some really nice collector's items, because they did the tanket, didn't they? The engraved glass tanket, was it, for the Royal series?
Yeah, I've got one.
You've got one of those, haven't you?
Yeah, I'll just get it. It's just round the corner. Just bear with me.
So if you're a collector, they're the ones I would go for rather than just the kit. But don't forget, the thing with that Hind is, the reason it's limited edition is because it comes with a book. Okay. The other thing as well is Steve does that one. I can show you one of mine, which will be coming up shortly for review. Now, this one here is Eddard, which is the Rise of the Bubble Tops. Now, this again is a limited edition, I assume. Actually, it doesn't say it. Perhaps this one isn't a limited edition. Yes, it is. Limited edition. This one in here, you get both kits. 48 scale, you get the Spitfire and you get the 190. But the big difference with this one, you also get this. Now, I haven't even looked in this, because technically it's a review, but in the interests of live show, won't tell anyone. Oh, I didn't realise it was like this. Right, okay, hold on. You actually get this as well. This is why it's limited edition. This is mounted as well. This is actually on a board. So you bung that in a frame, and that is the artwork off the front. And again, it's a limited edition print that obviously Eddard have commissioned to do, and that's what makes this kit a collector's item. But the trouble is this going to stay with it? You know, it's a lovely piece of artwork. It'd be nice to get this framed on the wall, to be honest. But then that makes the kit worthless. So, you know, and Steve's got, what have you got, Steve?
Look, I've got the Royal Class.
That's it, yeah.
Okay. Royal Class Spitfire Mark 9.
Yeah.
And it's got all sorts of goodies. You get, see how many decals.
Yeah, loads. Yeah.
And you get some serious goodies in it as well. You know, for example, you get a box of resin bits and pieces. So forget what we've got. You get the barrels, because this is the one that flew with the beer barrels under the wings. They go on the underside. You get the name of resin wheels. You get all the photo etch, including the photo etch flaps and everything, full interior, exterior, and then you also get a beer glass, which is rather nice. Which get a rather nice Mark 9 Eddard beer glass. I don't know whether you can see that. If I just put my hand.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
It's really nice.
And there's other versions out there. Some of them you get like a 1/9 scale instrument panel. There was one that was going around. It came with an iron cross, wasn't it? I think it was one of the 190s, which was a nice one. So from my point of view, if you're going to be a collector, that's what I would go for, to go with those types of things. But I'm not really a collector. I know, you know, everyone's thinking with the crap I've got around here, I must be a collector. But actually I use a lot of mine in various one guise or another. And I like to display mine. So it's not like I'm just going to have it in a box and have it hidden away. So for me, I'm a bit hopeless. That particular kit, as I say, you're buying it because you've got two in there. You've got the book. Okay, and you've got a few little brazen bits for the upgrades, for the resin bits and pieces and everything else like that, which is really, really nice. Me, I'd build it. I'm not a collector, that's the trouble. I would build it, and it's a bit like that Bubble Top Spitfire and the 190. I'd probably do them as a dual combo, it'd be nice to have the photo, and I'm good to go. But you'll get a lot of guys who go, ah, you shouldn't touch it, it's a collector's item and all the rest of it, you know, but it is that thing. Are you a collector or you're a modeler? It's very easy to do both, okay, because I know some guys who have a collection of kits and they are, you know, collector's items, and you get other people who just have a stash like I have and work their way through. So it just depends on really what you're into. I think they're both really, really nice, and now Steve's buried now into what version Spitfire is going to do.
No, some of the schemes are fantastic.
Yeah.
Obviously, I do want to build it at some stage, and I get do the one with the beer barrel. But then you know, you look at it, and it goes from A to P.
That's right. Yeah.
And you've just got tons of other schemes to choose from. I do like the
but don't get us wrong, you are paying for this. If you're just a modeler, you could go out and buy that Spitfire, which I've got one up there, just the normal Spitfire, wherever it is. There it is. We got the Mark 9 Spit up there, 1/48 scale, and I think I got it on a deal as well somewhere when it was cheap. I got the Profi Pack version without all the stuff. It's still got some bits in there, but not tons of it, and it's dirt cheap. So if you're just going to go for the kit, just stay away from the limited editions and just go for Profi Packs and stuff like that, because you can pick those up for 27, 35 quid, somewhere around that mark, and you're good to go with those. These ones are always going to be more expensive. I think the full RIP on that Hind is about 70 quid if I remember rightly. So, you know, everywhere's discounted as we know these days, so you can get it. But as I said, if you're one of these people like Steve and me, we do tend to like hoard out on these things a bit. It's really nice to have the sort of the extras and the bits and pieces. But if you're just a modeler and you just want the plain, then just go for Profi Packs and stuff like that. And don't forget that Hind. You could have bought this Vestas Hind, exactly the same, and just done it that way. But obviously, doing it this way, you get all the extra bits and pieces. And to be honest, that Hind, some beautiful markings in there as well. Again, like Steve was saying on that Spitfire, stunning ones, and you got up to P. From A through to P on markings, and say if you want to have that choice and that option, then definitely that's something to go for. But you're going to end up with a shed load of decals you're never going to use. So it just depends. If you're a builder, straightforward, I'm going to build it, or you want something a little bit more refined as a collector, and perhaps you won't build it, or something else like that. But if you're thinking about them going up in money, that is the big question. Some kits I know go for stupid money, and I mean ridiculous amounts of money. Why? I have no idea. Other kits, I think it's probably worth it. They don't, you know. So again, it's very much a thing. I think if people are into kits, buying and selling, they probably know what's in vogue and what's not at the moment. That's the secret, you know, and knowing when to sit on a product for ages and then sell it later on, and it could be worth a fortune. But it depends.
It's like with this one, Phil. Okay, you get when we're buying it, you do get two kits. Full kits in here, which is always a bonus.
Yeah.
But the reason I bought it is because my dealer, it were on special offer at Creative, and he got it at a really good price, and I got it off him at trade. So luckily I saved a lot of money. So when you worked it out, it was the same price as just buying two Spitfires. To the profit pack. Plus, then you get all the bonus resin, decals, and the glass. So it was worth it for me.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Right, okay. Owen says, hello, men. I hope you're both doing good. I have a question for you both. I'm building the EDAR MiG-21 for my metal SIG, and I was looking at other metal finish models on the net. The one that stood out are the ones that look worn and very flat, dead look to them, rather than the shiny, unrealistic ones that look more like the real things. They look very patchy and have areas almost corroded with chipping that looks kind of white. My question is, what would you two go about getting this well worked look instead just being a bit dirty? Funny enough, me and Steve were on about this the other day, weren't we? About chipping colours of Ali. Like we've both said with this one, we both agree on it. Aluminium should be flat. It shouldn't be polished. The only ones that are polished are like showbirds and stuff like that, you know, and sort of Frankenstein aircraft that you see these days. They should be quite flat and quite worn. And actually, I got the Mustang out last time and it was showing my effect with it and stuff like that. There's various different ways you can do it, through to rubbing through to changing flat coats on top. You know, there's various techniques you can actually physically wear the metal top through salt. So you could do the old salt technique, which is a nice one, where do your flat aluminium, wet it, rock salt it, and then put white aluminium very sparsely over the top, rub it all off, and with the motion of rubbing it and wearing it off and all the rest of it, you will get a very nice worn aluminium effect. The worry you have is going through it because it's very thick. But if I show you on mine, the thing was, when I was doing this, well, I think we recorded this in like 720, so no one could properly see how this actually was. Where are we? Where's full? Right, okay, so if I show you in a close-up here, this is how I got, if you can see mine, how it's patchy. See, even on there it looks awful. I'm looking at it with my naked eye thinking that looks really good, but you look on here, but you see how it's sort of a little bit sort of patchy. I'll tell you different areas, different lights on the far side. A lot of this is just, there we go, like there, that's about like it. You can see, so what this actually is where it was polished. So it had a clear coat over the top, and then I rubbed the hell out of it back down to the alley so it shows through. Shame I get rid of this one again. And that's what it is. So you get this sort of worn look, and you can see some areas, obviously like around here, it's more shiny, and that's obviously where it's slightly more polished. But you can see it's very sort of flat and worn look. Let's try it on this side a bit better. There we go. You can see it in between the riveting, sort of here, where it's flatter. And it's just that thing of sort of wearing it down. So your options on here is to come in here with clears. Okay, you can put flat on top and then polish the flat, which makes it look shiny, and everything else like that. But it is just like up here, this front bit you can see here, just running along there in the light. You can see how it's different shades and hues. Really hard to show on camera. You look at it with the naked eye, it looks all right. But again, it is just that thing of going through different sections and areas and picking out what works and what doesn't. But the way I literally did that one, bring me back, go right over it, buffed it if you remember rightly and all the rest of it. Then we put a flat coat on the top of it to seal it, and then I polished it again. And that way you sort of, you wear through the glossy bits but you leave bits, so that way you get more shiny and a flatter bit and all those different areas. That's another way of doing it as well, just to give it that sort of knockdown look and everything else like that. But I don't know, Steve, you?
Yeah, well, I know what it means, because when you look at these older aircraft, and again that corroded, oxidized metal look, you could actually use grey paint, because it always looks grey or white and different shades of. So why not use grey paints? If you're using it in combination with metallics, you get away with it. You won't get away with just using painting the whole aircraft different shades of grey, because you won't have that metallic edge to it. But if you started off with a metallic base, and then for your oxidized, use different kind of paints to add little bits of chipping. Use, like Phil was saying, use your mats, really knock it back so the metal becomes really flat. So use, like I said earlier about using a grey primer underneath, and then you can go over it, scuff the metal up so it does knock it right down so it's dull, really dull. And then just by having the odd little bit highlighted with fresh metallic paint so you get that little bit of a shine, it makes the effect more effective, basically. But I don't know if it would work. You could also try maybe mixing up, so if it's really white, add a bit of white paint to a metallic. Try experimenting that way. That could work as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, at the end of the day, it's one of those things. It's not an easy thing. It's one of those things where a lot of trial and error, and also I think scale will play a bigger part of it. So if you were doing something 1/48th, you might have to tackle it differently for doing 1/32nd just to get it in scale. It's probably the sort of pinnacle of weathering, to be honest. Everyone can make stuff look dirty. Everybody can chip everything. But to try to get aluminium to look real and weathered is actually quite an art form. You know, I think it's probably one of the hardest things to do, because you could easily overdo it and you can completely underdo it as well. So getting that balance, I think, is really, really difficult. And as I say, I'm still don't know what I'm doing with this one. It's, you know, I'd say we did this one now 5-6 years ago now, I think it must be. So what I'm thinking is stripping this thing completely back and starting afresh with it. And going over it with a brand new metal, using all the different techniques we do and everything else now, you know, right the way over this one. So be interesting. Nice little project. Just I'll break me up to try and pull it apart and it goes wrong again. So we'll get there. Okay, so Reese says, hi Phil and Steve, hope you guys are okay. Question for Phil, when can we come to the studio? You told me about a book you read, hold on. Sorry, when we came to the studio, you told me about a book about a Huey pilot, because the life of me, I can't remember. Chickenhawk. And actually my dad's got it. He's got my copy. Mel bought me another copy of it because I love that book, and she bought me another copy of it, and I think my dad's got it. But it's actually called Chickenhawk, and I can't remember who wrote it. Bixty, Chickenhawk, Huey pilot, Vietnam War. Yeah.
Chickenhawk.
It's a book about a Huey pilot in the Vietnam War. Everybody should read it. It's a brilliant book. I've read it twice. And I don't read, so it must be good.
Chickenhawk.
Got it?
We'll have in a minute. Chickenhawk. It's by Robert Mason.
Right.
And you can buy the paperback on a certain website. That's Rainforest for $8.99.
I was going to say, it's nice. It is a very fun, very open reading book. Another good one as well, a lot of you probably know, is read Michael Durant's autobiography. He's the pilot who got shot down in Mogadishu for Black Hawk Down. That's another really good book about his experiences with the Night Stalkers and stuff like that. Very good book, I must admit.
The guy who wrote Chickenhawk has also done a book called Chickenhawk Back in the World, Life After Vietnam.
That's right, yeah. I've read both of them. Because I must admit, his book is so easy to read. I know if you're like me, I hate reading, and I like audio books, but actually I do read as well. And I read Chickenhawk and, as I say, Back in the World, because he is so funny, and the way he just talks, it's like just talk to a bloke down the pub when you read it. It's brilliant. Okay, it says, also Steve, do you know if you can still get the Revel? Is that Unimog?
Unimog, yeah, it's that big off-road thing. Yeah, you can.
Could you?
Yeah.
As I built the kid, as I built it as a kid, and want to rebuild it. Thanks again, lads. What's a Unimog?
It's a big off-road. It's German. Is it Mercedes who make it? And it's a 4x4 off-road truck, basically.
Oh, right.
I tell you who use them. You know these people who put power lines up in the country, middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
Off-road, they use them.
Oh, right. Okay.
I can show you, actually. It is Mercedes. It's one of them.
Ah, right. I got you. Yeah, got you. Cool.
Okay.
Isn't it funny? Everyone's going back now, building their old kits they used to build as kids. Okay, so Mark says, unable to watch, but interested in your comments on the post below. Can you post up your thoughts? Thanks. Hey, what? That's how it works. And he says, oh, secondly, I was one of those who rushed out and bought the heart investment. I did. Didn't I just mention that?
Yeah, somebody else. Yeah, we have, yeah.
Oh, right. Right, okay. Right, Ian says, g'day lads from a wet and rainy Montreal. Isn't it that time of year? It's always wet out there now, isn't it? I have a very important question for you. Why are you live streaming, recording today's Q&As and not helping Sid flee the country? Well, you're a braver man than me to say that, because Tams might be watching this because they're off work at the moment. So, what sort of friend are you to let him suffer like he's going to? To be honest, I see it like Tams is doing us all a favour by taking Sid on.
Yeah.
So I think we should all be paying her, really, for doing this. And it's something I'll be covering in the speech. So I've got my speech all sorted for it. It's a mixture of humour and ripping the crap out of Sid, really. So,
did you see that? It were on Facebook. Sid had to fend for himself, didn't he? Make his own tea.
Yeah.
And he posted up this picture of this plate of food. I don't know, were it faggots or something he were having? And it looked awful. You've never seen such an awful looking plate of food in your life. So if your friends are Sid, have a look on his Facebook, see that. Oh, good.
See, this is what it is. That's why he needs Tams in his life to look after him, bless him, otherwise he will fall apart. But I'm thinking really it's like she's doing us all community service. So, you know, needless to say, if one of my comments is there about Sid is about his skeefy. And that's even made it into the speech. So I'm taking us, you're all going to be part of Sid's wedding. So, yes, it will be in there. Okay, so Ken says, G'day gentlemen. Another Star Wars question. Will you be doing the speeder bike this year? If so, hope to build along and see you weather it up. Definitely, Ken. That is on my hit list for December. I'm going to have a goal this year to try and do 4 builds in December. They're all obviously all going to be Bandai, because otherwise I'd never be able to do it. But they're going to be good ones to go through, and one of them is definitely the bike, because to be honest, I've got 2 of them. So yes, we're going to be definitely doing that one as we make our way through, and then obviously we'll have Slave 1 and thingy done already. So my other plan as well is I can't see it, that's why I'm panicking. But I've got the Snow Speeder. I want to do that one. And as I say, I've even got Captain Phasma, although I'm not a massive fan of those at the moment. I quite fancy doing that one and something else along the lines as well. So yes, we've got some really good stuff coming up for that one. Okay, so Chris says, hi Phil and Steve, first time on the live show. I was watching yesterday's blog and you mentioned that you wanted to do an all-metal build before the year was up, which brings me to the question is there a simple way of weathering all-metal aircraft without losing any of the luster? I've really enjoyed the blogs and looking forward to the next build. It's Chris from New York. Yeah, when you're working with any type of silvers, what I would try and do, and we will be in this next one, is obviously patching it up a little bit. So obviously panels all slightly different shades just to bring it up, because obviously that's a form of weathering, because things weather, metals are not all the same on aircraft. They'll weather at a different rate. Then obviously we're going to go in some washes, and like we were talking about just then, is trying to weather the metal to make it look realistic. So it's not just shiny silver. Okay, and various things like that. So, you know, at the same time, the luster you take out, I think if you're careful in certain products, like that Goozy stuff was very good for it, you can put it back in as well. But what we're going to be using this time is a little bit different, is I'm probably going to be using a lot of probably the AK Extreme Metals and the MRP stuff, because it's very good, because it's lacquer based, it's hard as nails, it's a lot tougher than Alclad, although Alclad I know technically is a lacquer, but Alclad's always been very fragile. But I find the AKs and the MRPs really tough, so hopefully we'll be able to polish those as well. Not polishes in try and make them shiny, but polishes in wear through them slightly, just to take the edge off and stuff like that, but retain the metalness of it. Okay, so it's not, you know, just sort of bleeding and etching it out and all the rest of it, things like that. So yeah. So ever thought about doing something shiny, Steve?
Yes. I won't mind tackling one actually. I don't know what. We'll have to have a look in the stash. Yeah, it's something I've done a couple in the past using Alclads, but yeah, I definitely want to give it a go again. I think I've got a MiG-19, MiG-21 even that I could do it on. Because I got Edar brought out a limited edition one with a special box lid. That you could only originally buy direct from Edar that I managed to pick up. So that's got some great decor options. So I might have a look at doing that at some stage.
Have a look, see, definitely. Okay, so Ken says, hi Phil and Steve. I've heard you guys talk about paint shakers over the last few weeks. I have a form of motor neurons disease, and it's very hard to shake paints. I got this from eBay 2 weeks ago, 22 quid delivered. It's for gel nail polishes. Big pink sticker on the front, which says Nadtico Nail Lacquer Shaker. It works wonders with Styrene and Model Air. The shaker is a quarter of the price of the Robert one. That looks interesting. Hold on. We might need to... There we go. There it is.
There you go, Phil. I'll take one for the team. I've even got it on eBay now, so I shall.
Oh, right.
I'll give it a go. I like the look of that.
Give it a go. Yeah.
So there you go, I've ordered it. Things we do. And I don't even have my expense account set up yet, guys. Been trying for about 4 years now, but
yeah, speak to the accountant.
yeah, but to be honest, it does look exactly virtually the same. When you look on the picture on the side, it's got a V shape where you put your bottle in.
Right.
That's all adjustable, various holes, and you just press away. It comes with a mains adapter. So
I think
yeah,
Hans was saying you can buy the replacement straps because the only trouble with those ones is those straps tend to stretch and they go brittle and break.
yeah.
But he says you can buy replacement ones. I've known about that.
So it's for £22. If it does the job, I'll give it a go. Could be a really good thing. And the place I've just ordered it from, it does say that they've just sold 2 in the last hour. Now I'm wondering if people are seeing this now.
Yeah, that's right.
The Flory effect, and they'll just sell out everywhere. You know, because I could have it by. All being well, I might have it by Saturday.
Yeah,
and then
you can shake us on Saturday.
Yeah, we can put it on test either Saturday or next Tuesday, and we'll see what happens.
Definitely. Well, we'll give that one a whirl. We'll see what it is. A live test. That's it. I'll give him £22 now. Okay. Hi, Phil. I need some new supplies from florymodels, and I thought I'd pick them up at Telford instead of placing an order. Does the membership still apply as well? Also, it's going to be nice to see some stuff in real life there. Will the Ducati bike be on display? Oh, I don't know about the Ducati. Ducati went last year. I only ever take something once a year. So I don't know. If I got room, I might slip it in because it's small and it's in its own case. I might try and pop it in. But every year I try and take something different. So I've never taken the same thing twice. So whatever's done this year tends to go up. So yes, we'll definitely. If I got room, I'll slip it in. We'll get him in there. It's not a problem. As for the members' discount, to be honest, Telford's highly discounted anyway, and it's not us. It's the sales lot. It's their stock we flog. But as you know, I don't know what it is now. Hold on, I can tell you because it's on the poster behind us because it has to come. So the full set of 8 washes will be £30. The full set of 10 pack of sanders will be £30. And the individual packs of sanders will be £4, and all individual bottles of wash will be a £5, but you pay that anyway as members. So yes, so that will be the pricing for this year. So it is basically the same as the members discount get, if not better anyway. So I would wait. We've got loads of stock and all the rest of it. The only thing is, if anybody wants promo-y type things, we still haven't got any XL t-shirts. We really need to rethink this idea on this and various things. But if you do want t-shirts, polo shirts from small to large and even up to XL, it's just 2XLs and onwards we haven't got, shout and we'll bring them up. And you can just buy them there and then. We'll probably have 5 or something, but we sold them all really within the first couple of hours last year, but we don't tend to take much up of that, just from a room point of view. But everything else will be there with any luck, if it all turns up. I'm beginning to panic. Okay, so Nev says, hi guys, on the subject of civil plant equipment, have you seen this? I have seen those Hasegawa one. That's the only one though, isn't it? That dual-armed, lethal-looking thing. Looks like an extra from Transformers, doesn't it? Hopefully it's up on here. There it is. It's one of those. One of the members did it a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? And I did think at the time, well look, we were going to go, because that's Hitachi, if I'm right, isn't it? Yeah. So Hitachi are obviously doing a bit. So I think get a few of the others in there, we'll give them a whirl. So again, it's one of those things I'd love to do, but if you can imagine if Bandai did it, it'd be brilliant. It'd be working. It'd be movable.
Phil, I've had a message off Tim Chubb about Model Mates. And it says Model Mates did a range of sprays and washers. Generally, it wasn't like an ink, more like an enamel wash, but did do a range of smokes and stuff like that. It was quite popular in the model train layout and war gaming worlds for detailing terrain and vehicles with grime and soot, especially as you could rework it with water and a wet brush.
Oh, right.
Apparently Model Mates was a hobby-orientated version of this stuff, which is some expensive liquid used in the film industry for set dressing and stuff like that.
We have it on there. We sold 25 litres of dark dirt watch once to a production company to weather a house. Because it was brand new and they used our wash to weather it.
And he sent me a link, and it's it's some kind of a aerosol spray dye stuff. They're showing a lot of clothes and stuff like that. It gives you all staining, like for example, nicotine staining or frost effects and effects spray. But
the other fun thing we did once we sold,
to be honest,
go
on. Some of the stuff looks pretty good.
All right.
I'll show you later.
Favourite that. Yeah, we sold 5 litres of rust wash once to a bloke to prank his mate, because he put it right the way over his brand new car, which it was some type of BMW 7 Series he had, brand new, but to prank him. So we let it go a little bit thicker and just let it dry out, and then he tipped it, pretending it was paint, put it in a paint pot, and then tipped it clean over his car so it looked like red paint right over his brand new car and his car park. But obviously then it washes off, because that's what it does, and it's all healthy and friendly. Okay, so yeah, that's right. So because Jonathan says, I think Model Mates Wash used to be in our local model railway brethren, and I've seen it in his local shop. So yeah, it's obviously been around. One of those things, it's quite funny because there must be a massive crossover between the railway guys and us. But it's like we just don't speak and don't get the crossover thing. Because to be honest, these clamps, the reason they're like this is to hold trains. That's what they were for, is that these things, when you put your locomotive or your carriage into it, you would clamp it, it sits nicely on your desk and you're good to go, and you can weather it and work on it. That's what they were for. So apparently the railway guys, they know all about them. So I was like, righto. Okay, right, better rip through these, we're running out of time. Okay, hi gents, quick question for Steve. I asked you about fraud tracks and you said that one side is drilled. Unfortunately, mine are drilled at both ends. I'm having trouble drilling them as I can't get the drill holes to line up with the third bag for the curved part on the track, which seems very strange. Do you know what he's on about?
Yeah, he's bought some full tracks. Is it for his one of these mobile self-propelled guns? You know, these like the is it the Panzer Haubitz, the 2000 he bought?
Yeah.
But without actually seeing the tracks, I can't really help anymore.
Oh, right.
They were just wondering this, because usually with fuel you get 2 bags, and one side there's a hole, and the other side there's a bolt end, obviously to simulate the pin, and the side with the hole always goes on the inside, and then you feed your wire through that way, and that's how you know which is left and right. But without seeing his tracks, I wouldn't know, to be honest.
Right.
But they are
a dodgy bag.
They are. There must be a better way. They are, because you get your 2 track links, you put it together, and it says just push your wire. But because the white metal, you get little burrs on the inside, it just won't go through, so you have to drill.
Right,
and I always slot 2 together and drill all the way through. And then you can put your wire through. So you have to do that with every single. And obviously you'll drill, bits will break, and you know they're quite. Your fingers become quite sore from handling the tracks as well by the time you've done a link. And,
yeah, I know. Definitely.
I've tried using, and I find it. You can get brass rod if you get. I forget who makes it now, but you can get a pack of that comes in 10 lengths, and usually 1 pack will do a set of tracks, if not 2 packs, and that's just a bit firmer and just slides in just a little bit better, and don't always bend like the wire that comes with it. Yeah. So I'm sorry, Keith, without seeing it, I won't be able to.
Right. Okay, Mr. Molyneux says, afternoon guys, day off work today, so relaxing and watching the show. Cool, for some. Okay, the Academy F18 F and G are in fact Italy reboxes. With Telford less than 4 weeks away, do you guys have anything special on your shopping list? No. I must admit, I'm very sad when it comes to Telford. I'm so worried about the show and the stand and all the bits and pieces. I usually forget about all of it. I'm just quite excited about me and Steve doing our, you know, what's it called? Antiques hunt thing.
Yeah, bargain hunt.
Bargain hunt, that's the one. Yeah. So, going to do that. Okay, that'll be
No,
a
that'd be
giggle.
fun.
Okay, so Martin Jacobson says, hi Fun Steve, a question for Steve. I have the floor model tracks, hey, you're up to date, on the Tiger 1. What is the best way to cut the brass for the pivot pins? As I would have thought that a pair of wire cutters would not cut straight down. Also, is the brass wire that comes with the track any good? Well, I think we just covered that.
Yeah, brass wire. I prefer to use brass rod. You can get it in 0.4 mil, 5 mil, which 6 mil, which is roughly the same. Get it, there it is. Albion alloys.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I was just getting my Albion alloys. Here they all
are.
So yeah, you
also
can get. I've got here
0.3,
0.8, 0.3, 0.4, and what else have I got down here? 0.6.
It's just a bit firmer than the wire, so that's what I tend to use now.
Well, like a 0.3, because that's bloody.
Usually, depending for a Tiger, it's probably got to be 0.5 or 0.6.
Yeah, right.
It might even be bigger. It's only your really small links that get fine.
Right, okay.
What I tend to do is I'll put the two links together, get me drill all the way through. That way you've got a nice clear path to put your brass rod in. Once it's in, I'll then take some side cutters and just snip it. I know some people, they'll cut all the pins to length before they do it. I just think this saves a lot of time. Just push it in, then you've got a nice big length, just side cutters. I have bought, if I can find them, there they are. Like these little nippers for really heavy brass rod I use.
Yeah, good.
Or heavy duty stuff, but normally a pair of side cutters like the old Games Workshop ones.
Yeah.
They make short work of it straight through. Even a pair of scissors will cut through it.
Cool. Okay, right. So Brett says, hi guys, I made up some home reel styrene filler and gave it a go on a seam that was giving me problems. How long does it take to cure before it goes off? It seems to be somewhat soft even after 24 hours. It wanted to bore and roll up and clog the sander. Any thoughts? Clear. Right, Brett, did you use styrene sheet? I get this so often, and people say, well, no, I use sprue. Sprue is soft. It never, ever goes rock hard. That's the trouble. So did you use sprue, or did you use proper styrene sheet? And when we say proper styrene sheet, we mean, like, you know, the bit where you buy it like a pack, and it's like an A4 sheet. Use a bit like that. 2 mil is great for it, or 1 mil. Just chop that up, stick that in. The thing is, I get a lot of variables because I say this. I highly recommend using Tamiya Extra Thin and proper styrene sheet, and I've never had a problem with it. Every time I've had someone, they say, well, I didn't use Extra Thin, I used something else. And it's like, well, that won't work because it's still soft, okay? Or you use sprue and the sprue is soft and doesn't dry. Normally, I am totally sandable, rock hard. Even when we did the F1, the Mitsubishi, that back end, did all of that. I think I sanded it in about 6 hours. 6 hours later, I sanded it. I would always usually give it 24 because you might get the shrinkage and all the rest of it. So it might continue to, as the chemical reactions happen, it tends to shrink back a little bit more. So I'd always give it 24 hours anyway before I even went near it with sander. But yeah, it depends on, as I say, if you're using sprue, like if you use something like Airfix sprue or Revel sprue or any sprue that's really soft, you know, anything where you can bend the sprue, it will be soft and never really totally dries out. But if you use like styrene sheet, don't tend to have a problem with it. It's absolutely fine. But say, just give it a little bit longer and it's fine. If it's rolling up, what happens is sometimes you get skin on the outside, okay, and it's still soft on the inside. Again, if you don't want to do it now, because otherwise you'll get a sink mark because it will continue to go and sink. The other thing as well, remember, when you're sanding sprue of any type of thing, or like styrene in general, don't use too fine a grit. If you use too fine a grit, so even on our ones, which, you know, to be honest, when I did it, you don't want to go any finer than this. This is our green one, okay? What I would recommend is probably the blue. Where's my blue? There's the blue, which is the medium sander, on the fine side, and just don't push onto it. Just let it do all the work and just bring it across, because the thing is, you can generate too much heat, and if you generate heat, you'll reactivate the sort of filler a little bit in there, the chemical reaction, and it goes soft and you can get roll up. Okay, so you're better off using a coarser side, and don't push down, just lightly rub across, and then go back through your grits and just use a little bit of fine, and then end up very lightly just at the end, the fine grit on top, and go through it that way. And then that way you won't generate heat, which then stops roll up and all the rest of it. Because it's rolling up, it's just too soft and it's too hot. That's how I would go for it.
Just one thing to add, I always say that the thicker your filler, the longer you need to leave it. So if it's really thick, you want to leave it maybe a couple of days at least. The thinner it is, the quicker it seems to dry and goes rock hard.
Yeah, as I say, I have mine, it's usually to the consistency of a sort of normal kids PVA glue. That is my working one. I've got a thicker one for big gaps and heavy duty jobs, and I've got a thin one for like when your scribing goes wrong and it sort of dips off. I can just put a drop in there and it will go over it and all the rest of it. But again, it is that thing. But I do get a lot of people and they say to me, oh, I've tried your thing and it doesn't work. And I'm like, so you've used extra thin and Styrene? Well, no, I used somebody else's glue and some old sprue. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. It needs to be the good stuff. Otherwise you just have loads of trouble with it. Okay, so Willie says, Willie's first post, but Willie's been a member for 2 years. Willie, where have you been? Okay, hello Phil and Steve, new member to florymodels. Well, you're not. I wanted to say it's a very interesting source for modelling and inspiration, and the main thing is very interactive. It's interesting your opinion on weathering tank tracks. What is the better way to weather tracks, with paints or with brushing fluids?
Burnishing.
Sorry, burnishing fluids.
Right, it depends. Metal tracks, if you can use burnishing fluid, what it'll do will give you that rust appearance. Obviously burnished metal, really old looking metal, so it gives it nice. If you go kind of a real dark browny, rusty, you can have different tones in there. With paint, that's what you're basically doing. You're spraying your tracks to give you that old, rusty, burnished metal appearance. So that is brilliant for a basis for when you start your tracks. So if it's plastic tracks, obviously you go paint it. Metal tracks, you can use burnishing fluid, do so. Gives you a nice rust base. From then you can go on to start weathering your tracks with all your pigments, washers, and then just once you, especially with burnished tracks, once you've weathered them all that, then just take a sanding stick and just go over the raised edges and just polish it up a little bit, so it gives it where the metal's been in contact with stones in the ground, it gives you that nice weathered appearance. But I'd go burnishing every time.
Yeah, I think, as you say, the thing is, burnishing's like a natural way, if that sounds right.
Yeah, it gives you that
rusty
proper look, yeah, how
proper
it would
look,
be.
you know. So instead of trying to recreate it, it actually gives you it. So you're not trying to make it, so to speak, you know. So definitely. Okay, Rob Lee says, hi Phil and Steve again. What is he? Oh yeah, posted before. You were talking about 2-pack lacquer earlier in the show. Having looked around, it only seems to be available in large quantities in 400ml rattle cans. That you have used up, not exactly cheap. Well, we did say that, that's in trouble. Would you be able to recommend a source for small amounts of 2-pack lacquer, or an alternative which gives you the same sort of finish for those of us who wouldn't find buying large tins not cost effective on limited amounts of use? It's one of those things. It's extremely expensive, but it's very good. It's going to last you a lifetime. But I will never use the amount I've got here in my lifetime. As for alternatives, I know nothing about 2-pack lacquers. I'm seeing Mr. Ball tomorrow, actually. So I will have a word with him. I'll have a chat with him about it and see if we can come up with some other cheaper alternatives. Because I don't know, because you know when you get like your touch-up stick for your car?
Yeah,
and you get the colour and the lacquer. Could you technically thin that lacquer and spray that?
Possibly, but what you want to do, in the UK it's called Hero Boy, Hiro boy, and they specialise in automotive modelling, and they sell colour match lacquer paints, and also they do sell 1-pack and 2-pack varnishes, lacquer based varnish. And obviously they've just bought massive tins and decanted it into smaller bottles, and they'll sell it off to you, so it makes it more cost effective. A bottle will probably last you, the sale probably last you 3, well, even more, probably half a dozen models. So again, look at them options. In America as well, there's got to be a model shop that specialises in automotive modelling. Have a look for them, and that's where you got to find these cheaper price, or even be cheeky if you've got an automotive car sprayer nearby. Go on, just pop in and just ask him if I can buy a couple of jar-fulls of 2-pack.
Because Matt sent me one of these. This is one of his bottles that he sent me. This is the original one, and they call it a touch-up bottle, and it is probably, I don't know, what, 50ml, if that?
Yeah. Well, they probably...
and that'd be ideal, because it would last you probably 10 models. Yeah. You know?
He sent me some little Tamiya pots with it in, with the separate varnishing one, hardener in the other. So that's another way you could do it. But yeah, it's the paint company Hero Boy is Zero Paints.
Yeah.
So they do all the ones.
They do all the automotive stuff.
You might be able to get it in America, but again, just look for specialist model shops for automotive stuff. Go on automotive forums. But yeah, just go and ask your local automotive spray. They'll probably won't mind you having a. You turned up with a couple of clear glass bottles that big, and say, can I buy some? They'd say, don't be daft, and probably give you a little drop.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, so John says, hi Phil, I have started to receive an email notice from Squarespace services regarding events at Flory Models. Is this a new service from Flory Models? I've always received notices regarding things I have subscribed to, but this appears to be something different. Love the Q&A show, it's best regards. To be honest, I have no idea. Squarespace are good. They're our host. They're the host, not the forum. They're the host for the main site. That's what it is. We use Squarespace. They're the host. We don't even use Squarespace software. It's actually just they're our what do they call it? They're our the website host that keep it all for us. So yeah, that's all they actually do. As for them sending out saying we're doing events, no, nothing about that. I will check the settings and see what they're up to. But yeah, don't take any notice of them. If it's just something saying I'm new at Flory Models, it may be just something that's getting through and they're sending it out various things. I wouldn't worry about it. Just don't reply to anything that's from Squarespace, simple as that. Reply direct to me, obviously, but don't reply to anything on there and you'll be absolutely fine. And there we go. That is it. We are sorted, unless we've had any more in the last 2 seconds.
There's Kenneth has sent one saying, I need to buy a 2-pin Euro plug power supply for me shaving adapter.
Oh, right.
Shaving adapter for that thing I've just ordered.
Right, okie dokie.
Cool. I think I've got one, but I'll order a new one.
Yeah, that's it. Well, there we go. Well done, everyone. So let me just finish that.
A lot of questions today.
It did, I must admit. We had loads of questions.
Really good.
It was a good run today, everybody. Well done. So there we go. Right. There we go. I'm going to have to run off because I need to get the orders out. I need to get to the post office. I don't know if he's placed an order for those. If he has, I'll go and see if it's there. If not, I've got to run down to the post office. So there we go. That is it for us today, dear guys. Thank you very much for all the questions. As I say, it was nice to have a nice run through like that. Me and Steve are going to be both back on Saturday morning. So we'll be here 9 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning live, where we're going to be starting on, what are we going to do? Boba Fett first or Slave? What do you reckon?
It don't really matter, does it?
Don't matter. Well, we'll do one. But that's going to be our plan now. It'll probably be our run to Christmas, which will join in with everything else quite nicely. Obviously, tomorrow I'm off-ish. I'll be working in the morning till midday. Then I've got to get my hair cut. Then I've got to go to the dentist. And then I've got to get showered, cleaned, check everything. And then I've got to leg it down to Cornwall for Sid's wedding night, because we're having a meal before the wedding. And then Sid ties the knot 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon. So we'll be down there for that. So obviously there'll be no orders shipped out past probably say 3 o'clock tomorrow. If you put in an order for members and all the rest of it, I'll get those out. If it's sales lot, they'll continue as normal anyway. But for my side of it, then obviously you want to get those in nice and early, and I'll make sure they go out. But then I'm back Friday morning anyway, so we're coming straight back Friday morning, and then I'll be back to work as normal for the Friday show and the bits and pieces. In the meantime, what I'll probably do is tomorrow morning I'm going to do one of the reviews, so you have the review for Thursday, and then say Friday will be normal anyway, and we'll work our way through. So we've still got plenty of bits and pieces coming. The next part of the Mitsubishi will be up with you tomorrow as well. So yeah, we're all pushing along very, very nicely. So there we go. Anything else, Steve? You all good?
I'm all good, thanks, yeah.
He's all good. Well, there we go. So there you go. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll catch you all on next week's Q&A show, or we'll catch you obviously on Saturday morning for Saturday Morning Live. So do all next time, everybody. Happy modelling. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Hold on, I've lost my thing. Where's that one? That's it. There we go. Outro. Do 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 do.